So this entire exam consists of 800 GMAT score. A lot of you might be knowing the entire structure of the exam, but still I'll explain it once. So under these 800 score, there are two main sections. This is called, one second, someone is messaging. They want to join the group. So entire exam consists of two sections. One is quant and the other one is verbal. These are the two main sections, guys. The quant consists of 400 score and the verbal consists of 400 score. So these are the two sections that are the main sections of GMAT. There are other two sections called AWA and there is other sections called integrated reasoning. So AWA is a half an hour section. IR is a section of half an hour. But these two sections are not included in your actual GMAT score. Be 1000% sure about it. It's not included in your actual GMAT score. And I would personally say that do not try and have a window where you are preparing for AWA and IR. Absolutely no. When you are taking your mocks, that is more than sufficient. What happens in AWA, it's a essay writing section, guys. And what happens in this, that it's eventually not a essay writing section. It's all about you put down your opinion. So what would happen in AWA is that an argument is given to you. In verbal, we will read three sections called sentence correction, critical reasoning, reading comprehension. In critical reasoning, there is an argument given to you. Exactly same thing happens with analytical writing and assessment, that a argument is given to you. You need to read that particular argument. And based on your reading of the argument, you need to put down your opinion in 4 paragraphs. In one paragraph, you need to strengthen the argument. In one paragraph, you need to weaken the argument. In one paragraph, you need to give your own assumptions to the argument. And in one paragraph, you need to evaluate the argument. So these are the 4 paragraphs, 2 or 3 lines, each paragraph, I would say you. So what would happen in critical reasoning when we do verbal? You exactly get to understand what an argument is. And you exactly get to understand how should you strengthen the argument, how should you weaken the argument, how you give your own assumptions to the argument, and how do you evaluate the argument. So 1000% be extremely sure that for AWA, there is no separate preparation required at all. When we do critical reasoning, that is a moment AWA is absolutely taken care of. The total score for analytical writing and assessment is 6. You get a point out of 6. In my life, I have never seen anyone getting less than 4. Even if you go and write 2 or 3 lines, you will get 3 or 4 for sure. So do not worry about AWA section. Then the second comes is integrated reasoning section, which is half an hour section. There are total 12 questions. And there are total 12 questions in integrated reasoning. And the total point for integrated reasoning is a out of 8. So out of these 12 questions, you can expect 4 or 5 questions to be graphical based. That same what data interpretation sort of a stuff. But the standard of a question asked in GMAT IR is much lower than asked in any Indian exam. What I have personally felt that they don't test you anything except percentage topic. It's only percentage is tested in the IR of GMAT. I would say you in 4 to 5 questions. There are 4 to 5 questions which are also completely based on the verbal. So I can personally promise you with my experience that if your quant and verbal is good, your integrated reasoning is 1000% taken care of. So it's a personal request from my end that you will not give a separate window for AWA and IR preparation that Rahul, I need 1 week of time to prepare for AWA and IR. No, your entire focus should be in a quant section and in a verbal section. Is this very clear? I'll explain you about the quant and verbal in detail. But is the structure clear? This is the entire structure of the exam. No, let's not make it complex at all. There are quant section, there's a verbal section, you have AWA, you have IR. Section of score of AWA and IR is not included in your actual GMAT score. Be 1000% sure about it. So now let's understand the quant and verbal section in detail. What happens in quant section, guys? There are 31 questions. You will have 62 minutes to it. These are the main sections I'm talking about. 31 questions, 62 minutes. You have minimum 2 minutes per question. You will have 2 minutes per question. Be 1000% sure. And I can promise you every GMAT math question can be solved in 2 minutes. It's all about what logic you are using. It's a very logical exam, I can tell you. Not one single of a quant question out of 31 questions would require you to know any sorts of a specific formula. If at all you know that, it can be a bonus point for you, you can solve it. But the way questions are designed, it's designed in such a way that you technically don't need any sorts of a formula to solve any questions. If at all you are doing anywhere 789 to 589, if you are trying to multiply these stuffs in quant, you should stop right at this point and think that what you are doing is 100% wrong. This is something which is not tested in GMAT exam. GMAT is not a calculative exam at all. And if at all they ask you to take out some sort of a, if at all they ask you to multiply some sort of a stuff, it will be done in a very easy way. This much I can promise you. Perfect. Now comes down to verbal section, guys. In verbal section, there are total 36 questions. You will have 65 minutes to it. And out of these 36 questions, there are 3 sections that are asked. You have sentence correction. You have critical reasoning. You have reading comprehension. So you can expect 12 questions from each of the place. You can expect 12 questions from sentence correction, 12 questions from critical reasoning, 12 questions from reading comprehension. This is the normal distribution of the verbal section. Sometime it may happen, you may get critical reasoning 11, you may get sentence correction 13. Sometime it may happen, you get sentence correction 11, you may get reading comprehension 13. So reading comprehension, 12 questions, it will be 4 passages with 3 questions each, or sometime if you are lucky, it would be 3 passages with 4 questions each. But majority of the time I have seen a student being asked 4 passages for sure in verbal exam. If I get into depth of critical reasoning, guys, there are type of a question that is defined, which will be coming in the critical reasoning section. There are 10 types of a question which could be asked in a critical reasoning. So please understand the way this exam is structured. Everything is absolutely known to you before you go and write your exam. Everything, every detailing is known to you. You know, in verbal, there are 3 types of section. You know, in critical reasoning, there are 10 types of a question that are asked. So in this exam, that's the reason what I feel, that if you aren't able to score, it simple means you have not done the honest practice to it. Because everything is known to you that's gonna come in your exam. Everything, absolutely, you know the types of question that's gonna be asked in your exam. So absolutely, I can tell you, in this exam, it may happen that some guys are good. Some guys, like let's say you have not been in touch with a book for a long time. You may have to study a bit more. Someone who is basically good, like let's say whose basics are really, really good, or one who is studying in the college, let's say a guy from IIT whose maths is really good. So all I can say is those are the guys who can get score fast. But this exam 100% give you one chance, ensures that every individual can score. And the only reason I say is that everything is absolutely known to you that's gonna come in your exam. Nothing is something which is gonna be a sort of like a flashpoint to you in the exam. Ki, Rahul, this is something which we have not studied, which we have no idea about. So those are the things that's not going to happen in the exam. Everything is well known to you. Is there any doubt, anybody?
It's clear, Rahul.
Ankita, Shaurya, is this clear?
Yeah,
Rahul.
Rahul.
Perfect. So what we can do is that we can get into the details of verbal section tomorrow. Or would you like to understand the scoring pattern of the exam? Let's take 5 minutes and make you understand what is the scoring pattern. So the quant section consists of 31 question. It will be 62 minutes. The verbal consists of 36 question. It will be 65 minutes. And the total score allocated for quant is 400. Total score allocated for verbal is 400. Here you get like 2 minutes per questions in quant. In verbal, you get like 1.4 or 5 minutes per questions in quant. So what happens? You will not get to know your score out of 400 in quant. Be very sure. This will not be known to you. All that the scoring is done on the scale score. So in quant, the total scale score is 51. If you get 51 out of 51, it is supposed to be 99th percentile. If you get out of 51, 50, it is supposed to be 89th percentile. In fact, now it has decreased to 87th percentile. If you get 49, it is straight away comes down to 79th percentile. If you get 48, it comes down to 69th percentile. If so, see, imagine 1 point difference and the percentile is dropping by 10. If you get 47, I think it is goes to 60th percentile. If you get 46, it goes to 55th percentile. And in verbal, out of 51, anything 42 or 42 plus is supposed to be 99th percentile. 41 would 99th percentile. This is 99th percentile. 41 would be somewhere around, I would say you 100% 95th percentile. 40 is supposed to be 90th percentile. 39 is supposed to be 87th percentile. 38 is supposed to be your, I think, 83 or 84th percentile. And 37 would be, in verbal, the percentile score is very less. The drop is very less. And 37 is supposed to be, I think, 79th percentile. So ideal score. So what happens that if you want to score, so you will not get to know what is the score out of 400 in quant, what is your score out of 400 in verbal. This will not be known to you. What would be known is the scale score. So let's say you are done with the exam. What they give you, let's say in quant you have got 50, and in verbal if you get 35. This is the minimum thing which you should get, quant 50, verbal 35 to score 700. If you get 50 over here, if you get 40 over here, it is somewhere around 730 or 740. If you get 50 over here, 42 over here, it is 760. If you want to get more than 760, your math score should be 51 for sure, 100%. So in 51 out of 51, it means hardly one question is wrong. 51 out of 50, you can afford to do 4 questions wrong, 4 to 5 questions, but keep it below 5. If you want 49, you can do 7 to 8 questions wrong. No issue. And 48 onwards, getting 48 and 49 in math is pretty easy, guys. Be 1000% sure. So one thing you can be extremely sure about, you will not cross 700 till you have minimum 35 or 36 in verbal. And getting 35 and 36 in verbal is no big deal at all. So we need to 100% strategize our preparation. So there is a way, like let's say when you are preparing for verbal, now it comes to be, now there are 3 sections in verbal. You have sentence correction, you have critical reasoning, you have reading comprehension. So our preparation should be in such a way where we get some sort of a confidence in verbal, because what happens that there are a lot of people who says that Rahul, verbal is good, but the point is that there is no score. You cannot be good in verbal till you have minimum of 37, 38. Be 1000% sure. And to get 37, 38, you should minimize your mistake under 10. So the best way to have a confidence in verbal is that to ensure that any two sections, whatever you like, critical reasoning, reading comprehension, or sentence correction, where I would say 100% that sentence correction is one section which should be 1000% under our command. Because I personally feel if your sentence correction is not good, critical reasoning and reading comprehension, you forget it about. It will be impossible that will be good at. So 100% sentence correction is one section in verbal that should be taken care of, because when you are good in sentence correction, it ensures that you know to write sentence properly. And when the sentence is written, you 100% know, you 100% can, you know how to grasp the meaning of sentence properly. So if a sentence correction is right, I can 1000% ensure that critical reasoning and reading comprehension can be taken care of to some extent. Now imagine about sentence correction, I'm just writing one simple sentence. The market crashed and it led a lot of people to lose money. The market crashed and it led a lot of people. I'm just trying to give you a sort of example ki how sentence correction is why so important. Imagine I'm writing a sentence, the market crashed and led a lot of people to lose money. Tell me, is this a right sentence or a wrong sentence? Any one of you, no issues at all. The sentence is the market crashed and it led a lot of people to lose money. Please tell me, is this right or wrong?
It's wrong, Rahul, because the first part of the sentence was in past tense. The market crashed and it led to a lot of people.
This is also past. It led. This is also past value. Nishchit, Chirag, Bhavika.
I think it is wrong. I think the connection basically and should not be used here. Instead, it should be the market crash, comma, leading to a lot of people losing money.
Absolutely. So what happens here, guys, that see, it is a pronoun. Be 1000% sure. And a definition of a pronoun says that it goes back to a noun. So it actually is going back to the market. So the meaning that is coming out from this place is that the market crashed and the market led a lot of people to lose money. But do you think market was responsible for a people to lose money? Now, this is very commonly we write in our general life, extremely commonly. A lot of
Now, it
Yeah.
could be which also, like it's the connection only, but is which also a right use
absolutely
here?
no, absolutely no, Sanchi, because which is also a pronoun, right? The point is, you write which or it or that, it doesn't matter. I can say the market crashed and that led a lot of people to lose money. And the reason for which is wrong 100% here, Sanchi, because which is going back to the market, right? And there's one simple rule of which we'll be discussing in sentence correction, that if which goes back to a noun, there should be no verb in the middle, Sanchi. So here the crashed is a verb, so reference of which is 100% wrong. But imagine if it is a it over here, or you let's say the market crashed, it led a lot of people to lose money. The market crashed and which led a lot of people to lose, or which led a lot of people to lose money. Or you can say the market crashed and that led a lot of people to lose money. So please understand, it is a pronoun. That is a pronoun, which is a pronoun. A definition of a pronoun is what? It should go back to a noun, the market. So the meaning coming here is the market crashed and the market led a lot of people to lose money. But do you feel that market led a lot of people to lose money? That's 100% wrong. It was a crash in market that led a lot of people to lose money. It was not market that led a lot of people to lose money. So a lot of us write sentence like this in our general life. But trust me, if a CEO of a company writes this sentence, he'll be restricted right for this sentence. Be 1000% sure. You may be a brilliant speaker. There is no doubt about it. But there's a very normal rules, regulations that should be followed when we are doing sentence correction. I'm just giving you a sort of a hint. We will be doing in detail. So the actual sentence should be the market crashed, comma, leading a lot of people to lose money. So here leading is going back to the entire clause. Now the meaning from which you are getting from this sentence, it was a crash in market that led a lot of people to lose money. It was not market that led a lot of people to lose money. So it's a cause and effect situation. So we'll discuss all these things in very detail. All I'm trying to say you is that sentence correction is why so important. It may sound very rude, guys, listening that Rahul, what are you trying to say? Ki I read a sentence, I don't know to understand the meaning of a sentence. I'm not trying to say this at all. All I'm trying to say, if you understand the very concise, clear meaning, things would be very great. Now, a lot of people says that meaning is very important, Rahul, in sentence correction. But trust me, till you don't know the basic rules that should followed in sentence correction, meaning is of no use at all. It's very easy to say if you're meaning wise you are very clear, you will be able to mark the answers, which is absolutely wrong. Till you know the very basic rules as to how things are followed, it is impossible that you will get to understand the meaning of sentence. Now imagine when we write the sentence, this is 100% fine in our normal life. It has got absolutely no problems at all. But this is something which is 100%, 1000% wrong, this sentence. You just can't afford to write sentence like this for sure. So we'll be discussing in detail. So what I feel, I'm just trying to strategize the verbal preparation. That's it. Because a lot of time it happens that we feel that we are good in everything, but the score is not there. So if there is no score, it means we are not good at it. It's as simple as it is to say that, to say it. So we need to be very sure. I personally feel sentence correction, and I give you a good amount of time in sentence correction. I can promise you the day we finish the class, you will have a very good clarity, extremely good clarity. So this is a section which 1000% should be in your command. And then critical reasoning, reading comprehension. I'm not at all trying to say ki just study 2 sections and don't study 3 sections. All I'm trying to say ki build up your confidence in verbal. And the build up only comes when you are 100% right into one section. First of all, one section only you take. So when you do one section, you should be extremely confident that any questions you see from that particular section, you should be in a position to understand, okay, this is how I need to go ahead and solve it. But this is how I get the right answer. So I have come up with, I see a lot of people having some very disastrous strategy in verbal. And trust me, till verbal score is not good, getting 700 is practically too impossible. So we need to ensure that our verbal score is very good. So what happens, guys? Your admits depends on your quant score. Your admits in the college depends on your quant score. Be very sure. But if you're trying to apply for Ivy Leagues and all, they will ensure that in quant minimum you should have 50. But the overall score of exam is increased by your verbal score. Be 1000% sure. Verbal is extremely important section. You just cannot afford to get anything less than 35. If it is less than 35, 700 will not happen. So we'll try our best to ensure that minimum 37, 38 is something we should be targeting for. Anything above that is a good score for you. You get 40, you get 42, you get 44. That's absolutely okay. And in verbal, it happens with practice. So I've seen a very good number of people, very good now, like who are really good in English. I would say I'm graduate, ferocious reader. Even they fail in sentence correction because sentence correction is something in verbal which requires a continuous practice. So imagine tomorrow we start the sentence correction in the class. And from tomorrow till the day you take your exam, you have to minimum keep solving 3-4 questions per day. You just can't take a break in sentence correction. You may be really good at it, but sentence correction is something which is straight away depends on the amount of practice that you do. And moment you leave 2-day practice of sentence correction, your accuracy will hit to the ground. This is something which we need to understand, and I'll be discussing in detail in the verbal section. So today, let's start with the quant section, guys. Is there any problem till now in the scoring pattern, in the structure of the exam? Anyone?
What's the actually, I just have one question.
Please tell me.
What's the like lower limit of quant that people can achievable sort of number for a 650, 680?
49, 48 is easily to achieve.
Oh, wow.
Easy, I'm telling you. Getting 48 and 49 is quant is no tough at all. It's all about that how we keep our focus on. Like the whole point is that quant is absolutely not something which is a formula based chapter. It is so logical that you will have no idea. We'll start today. Like today, what we are doing, inequality, is one of the trickiest chapter of quant. But I want that this is one chapter that should be 100% in command. Why? I'll just come and tell you. So let's get into the quant section, guys. Any problem till now? So let's start a bit of class. It was all sort of a philosophy regarding GMAT, which I personally don't believe in because all of you know what exactly needs to be done, but something needs to be said. So let's start with the quant section. In quant, I have told you 31 questions, 62 minutes. And the total score is 400. You are expected to ensure that you do minimum 5 mistakes in the section. And whatever is your standard, whatever background you are from, it does not matter at all. It just does not matter. All we need to ensure that just concentrate properly. One thing, be 1000% sure that whatever we are discussing in the class should be 1000% clear to you. If you keep these things clear, I promise nothing will happen. Everything will be good. That's for sure. And you can create a group for yourself, ensure that you do a very productive discussion over there because all of you are doing for GMAT and it's hard to have such groups where people are completely focused at one place at one point of time. You can have a multiple groups where people are studying right and left, doesn't matter at all. But here, all of you are studying the same thing. So it will help you in 1000% sure, I can tell you, but keep it very productive group. Do not misuse it. Do not talk shits there. So let's start with the quant section. We have 31 questions, 62 minutes, guys. And in quant, there are two types of a question asked. One is called data sufficiency. One is called problem solving. So in data, so GMAT loves giving you question based on data sufficiency. So even if you are doing good in quant or you are doing bad in quant, you can expect minimum of 17, 18 questions from sure data sufficiency. Data sufficiency is not a chapter, guys. This is a format of a question. Questions from any chapter could be asked in form of a data sufficiency. And then there is a problem solving. In problem solving, you are given one question. There are 5 options you need to solve. If you are doing good in quant, like if you are someone who's trying to get 50 and 51, you can expect the questions to increase to be 20, 21, 22 of data sufficiency. And rest will be your problem solving. So GMAT loves giving you a question based on data sufficiency. Why? Because GMAT loves giving you questions on numbers. GMAT does not believe in you questions that a guy is standing on the platform, a train has passed, second train has passed. What is the speed of second train with respect to the first guy, with respect to the guy who is standing on the platform? So GMAT does not like giving you a lot of questions based on arithmetic, which is unlikely a very favorable questions in Indian exam. Like if you go for CAT, MAT and all these stuff, these are the questions that are asked. So in quant, what are the chapter that we are going to start with is inequality. The first chapter that we do is inequality. The second one is absolute value. The third one I can say you is statistic. Fourth one is number system. Fifth one I can say you is geometry. Sixth is coordinate geometry. Seventh is your arithmetic, which would cover your entire sets, percentage, ratio, time and distance, time and work, interest, allegations, all this stuff. And the eighth one would be PNC and probability. So why I start with inequality, I'll just tell you, because if you are done with inequality, absolute value, number system, these are the three chapters you can expect in GMAT. 50% of the questions alone asked from all these chapters. It would be almost 13 to 14 questions in GMAT out of 31, which will be from these chapters. You may not realize it at all. They can give you an inequality question right from the coordinate geometry as well. They'll simply ask you to form an equation of a line and they'll do some stuff where the questions is like inequality. They can ask you an equality question from time and work as well. They give you a word problem where you form an equation, but again, the questions will be dealt with the inequality concept. So all I'm trying to say, okay, this is the first chapter that we start with. This is a bit tricky chapter for sure, for the people who have not done the work. So we'll go slow, no doubt today. So this is the first chapter we start with. Why? Because, and please understand, inequality, absolute value, number system, 99% questions from these chapters will be in form of a data sufficiency. 1000% be very sure about it. It will be 100% in form of data sufficiency. And these are the most important chapter where GMAT quant syllabus is concerned. Because you cannot joke around with this chapter. You be how much ever weak you are, it just does not matter. Just focus in the class, ensure that I'm always available. You can straight away WhatsApp me if you have any specific question. You have your group for yourself. You can discuss over there. But be 1000% sure, time and again, I'm telling you, something that is happening in the class should be extremely clear. And I'll be going slow. It's not that I'm rushing it up. So come down to statistic. Now, statistic is a chapter where two questions will surely be asked. Now, I don't know why GMAT gave a question from range and standard deviations. In almost all the exam, one question will surely be from range and standard deviations, and these are easy topics. One question will surely be from median or mean, or it could be from median and mean both. So number of questions, like a very recent graduate of a very recent exam taker, Sampada, she was a student of mine. She told me, Rahul, I've got almost 4 to 5 questions from start. And even she was a student who was actually like, she's an NIFT graduate, fashion designing graduate. And she was a place where she used to not be able to solve even 15 questions in 62 minutes. But if you work, there is nothing which is impossible. And she ended up getting 49 points, by the way. So it was a tremendous improvement for her. So getting a questions from stat would be a bonus point for you. 2 questions you can 100% expect. 3, 4, if it comes, it's a bonus point. Geometry, coordinate geometry, you can 100% expect 6 to 7 questions. Sometime as high as 9 questions also. People have got 8 to 9 questions. Sometime as low as 3 to 4 questions also. No one exactly knows the number of questions. There is no such distribution which has been disclosed by the GMAT people. So we don't know that at all. It's just a sort of estimation which people normally get. Arithmetic, you can 100% ensure 5 to 6 questions for sure. Like they give you 2 questions from set. 1 question 100% will be from percentage. There is no doubt at all. 1 question would be from time and distance, time and work. And percentage ratio and percentage are not 2 different chapters. These are exactly the same chapter. And PNC in probability, you will have 2 or 3 questions for sure. So this is the entire distributions of your quant topic. This is how we'll be doing. What we are starting is inequality. This is no doubt a bit tricky chapter, but I want you to go ahead with this just for the reason, because if you're good in inequalities, and we'll take some time, don't worry at all. You can ask me your silliest of silliest doubt. It does, and that's the reason I'm telling you, form a group so that it is absolutely okay for you to ask with your colleagues. Sometime it may happen, you will be like, wow, how should I ask to Rahul and all? You can always ask anytime, any moment. But if you have a group, it can be extremely productive for the people who need help. And if you need help, please open up your mouth. Do not at all be ashamed of asking something. 1000% you be sure about it, because if you know, if you don't ask, no one in the world can help you. Do not at all feel that you don't know math, what would happen and all. It's absolutely okay to not know. Let's know now. If you are good in inequalities, your absolute value is taken care of. If you are good in absolute value and inequality or number system, the way you solve a questions in number system thought process very much matches to inequalities and absolute value. And that's the only reason I start a chapter with, I start the classes with inequalities, because I feel this topic is one thing which I can personally tell you, if you are good in inequalities, it ensure that give a give a good amount of time to this chapter. If you are good in this chapter, you will be good in the entire quant section. That's a promise from my end. You will, because this is a chapter which gives you a brilliant thought process as to how you think. Obviously, if you know inequality, if you do not read arithmetic sets, ratios, you will not be able to do it. But this is one chapter which gives you a very brilliant thought process to go ahead, to think on any question. And I'll exactly tell you how should you be doing the questions and all. Be 1000% sure. Let's get into the discussions of chapters now. Any doubt over here? This is the math syllabus entire. And this is what we are going to start now. Anyone, any problem?
No, Rahul, no doubts.
Clear? Perfect. So let's start this now. So before we get to start with the chapter inequalities, absolute value and all, let's do a bit of DS concept, data sufficiency. Because questions in inequalities, absolute value, number system will all belong from data sufficiency. So I don't want you to go at a place where that, like, let's say when we are doing inequality, I don't want there I explain you how should you approach a data sufficiency problem. So let's discuss this for 30 to 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And understand how data sufficiency works in math, because it is a topic which is very important in math, 100%. So what happens in data sufficiency, guys, that you are given a sort of, if you are given one question and there are two statements given to you, statement number 1 and statement number 2, you need to mark your answer A, B, C, D, E. So what happens in data sufficiency is that you are not supposed to technically solve the question. A half question is given to you over here, you can say. And the question is asking, will I be able to solve this particular questions or not? You are not supposed to solve the questions and find out the answer. That's of no use. All you have to say, a half question is given to you over there, half questions of math from any chapter. And this question will need some additional information for you to solve this particular question. So they give you two statements and they ask you which of the following statement will help you to solve this particular question. This is a normal thought process behind any data sufficiency question. So option number A says that statement 1 alone is sufficient to answer the question. So imagine this is a question given to you. Statement number 1, when you look for statement number 1 and you feel that by using this information, I'll be able to solve this particular question. It means statement number A is the answer. And statement B says, option number B says that sometime it may happen that you will not be able to solve question by statement number 1. So your job is to get into statement number 2 and see that can you solve this particular questions or not. If you can solve it with the help of statement number 2, you will mark B as answer. Sometime it can happen, guys, that statement number 1 and 2 alone are not sufficient. They are just not sufficient alone. So your next job would be to combine these two information and then check, will you be able to solve this particular question or not? If yes, you will mark answer C. So C says statement number 1 plus 2 are sufficient to answer the question. And be 1000% sure when you come to statement number C, it by default means that statement number 1 and statement number 2 are not sufficient. If a statement number 1 and 2 are sufficient, you can't mark answer C. You are only supposed to combine these two statements when you are 1000% sure statement number 1 and statement number 2 are not sufficient to answer the question. Some cases it happens, guys, that statement number 1 alone is sufficient to answer the question. Statement number 2 alone is sufficient to answer the question. In that case, you go with option number D. Statement 1 alone and statement 2 alone. And he says none of these. So you will not understand these things properly till we do some questions. Don't worry. I'll just explain you again. So this is a normal data sufficiency means. So in data sufficiency, you are not supposed to solve a question. You are actually supposed to think, will we be in a position to solve this particular question? with the help of statements or not. So the thought process required in data sufficiency is very high than a problem solving question. In problem solving, you can just look the problem, read the problem, try and solve. You might get one answer, high probability of it. But this is a place where there may be a lots of confusion. So let's start with the DS chapters. I'll just explain you the concept again, don't worry. So what happens in data sufficiency? That guys, there are just two types of a question that are asked in data sufficiency. One is this type and the other is what type. So there are two types of a question that are asked in data sufficiency. One is your S type, one is what type. Any questions of data sufficiency can be classified into these two types. 1000% you be sure about it. So imagine in this type of a question, confirm yes or confirm no. Both are accepted answer. And what type of a question, you will have a unique numeric value as answer. Now let's understand what is this type and what is what type in detail. So what do you mean by confirm yes or confirm no as an answer? Is a accepted answer. If I simple ask, is your name Rahul? You have an answer no to it, and that's a very valid answer. If someone asks, is your name Ankita? You have an answer yes to it, and that's a valid answer. So how you play this mathematically? Imagine if I give you a simple question, is x greater than 100? Option number 1 says x is greater than 85. Option number 2 says x is less than 90. Imagine. So moment you have one questions, two statement, your answer should be in form of A, B, C, D, E. So we'll concentrate a lot on how you approach your problem. So imagine if this is a normal questions given to you. Can you please take 30 seconds to solve this? Give me the answer. And whenever there are two options, your answer should be in form of A, B, C, D, E. You should not give anything else. You should not say anything else at all.
Sir, I think it's going to be both A and B.
So both A and B is what? A, B, C. It should be only one answer question, Channa. Only
No,
one
no,
answer.
no. I mean, the options, I mean, I don't know if I think it's D. I mean, 1 and
It's
2,
D
both
for
the
you.
answers.
Perfect. Okay. Any other answer? Please tell.
It's B. A.
85.
I
What's the
think
answer?
it's either
Either means what? A, B, C, D. You tell me in that form.
E.
You say wrong, right? Doesn't matter at all, but tell something. Perfect.
I think it will be A.
Even I feel it's a
I think it's B, that one alone is not sufficient, but two alone is sufficient.
Okay.
B.
Perfect. So see here, simple. So guys, in this type of a question, what is our job? The question says, is x greater than 100? Option number 1 says x is greater than 85. If x is greater than 85, can I say x can be equal to 90? X can be equal to, or let's say x can be equal to 95. Agreed? If x is equal to 95, is this greater than 100? Please tell me. It is not greater than 100. It's a no situation. But if x is greater than 85, x can also be equal to 120, which is actually greater than 100. It's a yes situation. So guys, please understand, in this type of a data sufficiency question, our entire job is to create a yes and no situation with every statement. And if I'm able to create a yes and no situation, it simple means that this statement is not sufficient. Now say me, I'm telling you, is my question is what? Is x greater than 100? Simple. Is your name Rahul? What's the answer? No, it's a confirm answer. So I'm telling you, is x greater than 100? Option number 1 says x is greater than 85. If x is greater than 85, x can be 95. 1000% sure? Yes or no? Yes or
Yes.
no?
yeah.
And x can be 120, which is greater than 100. So I have a yes and no situation. Please understand, guys. In this type of a question, now this is a very simple question given to you, front of you. But however much the complicated question can be, it does not matter. For every particular statement, my job is to create a yes and no situation. If I can create this yes and no situation, I'll straight away say this is not sufficient. Now imagine when I say x is less than 90, what are the values of x can be? It could be 89, it could be 88, it could be 87, it could be 86, to all the way to negative infinity, right? Is that clear?
Yeah.
So is any of the value greater than 100 here? Any value take x less than 90, will it be ever be greater than 100? Do you really think? No, right? So it's a confirm no answer. It is same as asking, is your name Rahul? You say no to it, and that's no is a valid answer. The question is being asked, is x greater than 100? And you have an answer no to it, ki no. X is not greater than 100 from option number 2. X is not greater than 100. It's same as, is your name Rahul? You say no. No is a valid answer. Question is being asked, is x greater than 100? Option number 2 says x is less than 90. It means x is not greater than 100. It's a only no situation. So in this type of a question, guys, please understand, we have done it very simple question. But the logic should be very clear to you. In any type of a data sufficiency question, my job with every statement, your entire purpose while solving the statement is to create a yes and no situation. If you can create a yes and no situation, it means the statement is not sufficient. If you can create only yes situation or only no situation, it means the statement is sufficient. So for this particular question, the answer should be B. Not A, not C, not D, not E. Is that understood? Anyone who has not understood, please tell me, because this is very simple. If you don't understand here, it will be a problem later. Anyone, any doubt? Shaurya, is this clear?
Yeah, Rahul.
Perfect. And Tanvi, is this clear? Yashu?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah,
Perfect.
it's clear.
So this is a normal question, I'm telling you. A very simple, this is how, but knowing this type of a concept that confirm yes, confirm no are the accepted answer is not sufficient. How you apply this concept while solving a problem. So imagine if you must have done the homework, it will be a repetition for you for next half an hour. So please don't mind, have patience. If you have someone who has done the homework. So imagine when a triangle is a right angle triangle, guys. Imagine if I say this is A and this is B and this is C. When a triangle is a right angle triangle, Pythagoras theorem should be satisfied. That is AC square should be equal to AB square plus BC square. Very normal logic, very normal. So imagine if this side is 3, this side is 4, and this side is 5. Can I say 5 square is equal to 3 square plus 4 square? That is 25 is equal to 25. So if I can say this, it means this triangle is a right angle triangle. Simple logic. So for a triangle to be a right angle triangle, Pythagoras theorem should be satisfied, and Pythagoras theorem says the hypotenuse square is equal to sum of the sides square. AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. Now this is one simple logic, and based on this, there is a question. So let's understand exactly how we go ahead and understand this concept. Can you please take 2 minutes and try solving question number 7? Every one of you. Question number 7. Sanchi, you've got C. Okay. Anyone else? Please tell the answer. You can tell me the answer. No issues at all. Perfect, Prashansha, no? Okay. Next is Chirag. What's the answer? Manoj, Rajesh. What's the answer? Okay. You can speak, you don't have to type on a chat, no issues. Nishchit, Chirag,
I think it should be C, right? Like
Okay.
145.
perfect. So let's solve it this now. It says the length of side AB is 17. Is ABC a right angle triangle? Shaurya, what's the answer? It says that the length of side AB is 17 and BC is 144. Option number 1 says BC is 144. Option number 2 says AC is 145. Agreed? So this is a triangle. Now in this triangle, the question is being asked, is this a right angle triangle or not? We have two options. BC is 144, AC is 145. So imagine if I take BC as 144 here. So AB square is 17 square plus BC is 144 square. Please understand, we have no idea about the value of AC. AC could be anything. AC could be 145, AC could be 146, AC could be 147. So from option number 1, I cannot come down to a conclusion that this is a right angle triangle or not. Why? Because I have no idea about the value of AC. So I can say this is not sufficient. Agreed? Any doubt? Now, when I come to option number 1 is not sufficient. So my job is to go and check with option number 2. Option number 2 says AC is 145. But guys, one thing, 1000% be sure that once you look into option number 2, option number 1 just does not exist for you. Do not carry forward the information from 1 to 2. When you are looking into options independently, they are the independent statements. You are not supposed to carry forward the information from 1 to 2 and 2 to 1. So option number 2 says AC is 145. Can I say this is 145 square? But I have no idea about the value of BC. I still say it is not sufficient. Simple logic. Very clear. Now, when I combine these two options, what happens? Now I'm 100% sure. I'm very sure 1 is not sufficient, 2 is not sufficient, because with these two options, individually, I'm not able to conclude that this is a right angle triangle or not. But when I combine this now, I get 145 square is equal to 17 square plus 144 square. Now at this point, when you combine, you have all the values, AC, AB, and BC, all the values you have. Tell me what exactly have you done? So from this point, if you have tried to solve the question, that is a pure disaster. So if you try to find out the values, 145 square is equal to what, 17 square plus 144 square or not. It simple means you have not understood the concept of is type of problem. So understand that value of 145 square is equal to A, imagine, and the value of 17 square plus 144 square is equal to B. Let's say. Now, there could be, if at all I try and conclude this, if at all I try and find out the value of 145 square and 17 square plus 144 square, imagine value of 145 square is A and this is B. I'll have only two situations now. Either A is equal to B or I'll get A is not equal to B. Do you think any third situation is possible? No. If A is equal to B, it means it's a confirmed yes answer. And if A is not equal to B, it means a confirmed no answer. So you are not supposed to solve this. If at all you try and solve this, this is a pure disaster that you will be doing. It doesn't mean that now you know his concept. Obviously, anyone could solve this, but GMAT expected that you do this question in 20 seconds. And if you try and solve this, a bit of solution is involved. Trust me, it will take you 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes for sure. No doubt at all. So here the is concept understanding should come into picture. Value of 145 square is equal to A, 17 square plus 144 square is equal to B. Now these are the two values where they can be equal. If A is equal to B, it's a confirmed yes answer. It's a right angle triangle. If A is not equal to B, it means it's a confirmed no answer. It's not a right angle triangle. So in both the cases, I'm getting an answer, because in this type of a problem, what is our job? Confirm yes and confirm no, both are accepted answers. Now here I'm getting either a confirm yes or a confirm no. That's simple. So I can straight away looking at this mark answer C. If at all you get into solving it, it's not a good thing. If at all you want to solve this, what exactly will you do? So you should do it 145 square minus 144 square is equal to 17 square. The 145 square minus 144 square is what? 145 plus 144 into 145 minus 144 is equal to 17 square. So 982 into 1. 17 square is nothing but 289. So guys, see LHS is equal to RHS. It means that 145 square is equal to 17 square plus 144 square. So you will get a confirmed yes answer. Yes, it's a right angle triangle. But did you actually require this to do? No, you should not be doing this at all. Absolutely, you should not be doing this. You should write at this place, say, it's a S type of a problem, confirm yes and confirm no, both are accepted answers. So C is my answer. Anybody, any problem, please tell me. Ankita, is this clear? Anuja, is this clear? Kritika,
Yes,
Mahi,
sir.
clear? Shaurya,
Yes.
Ritu? Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes, it's clear.
Perfect. Yeah, it's I won't say it's a GMAT level question, Sanchi, for sure. But these are the beautiful problem to understand the concept of what is this type and what is what type. Because this is the place, Sanchi, where you can go ahead and solve the problem, no issues at all. But it's much better for you to understand as to why we should not be solving this. Perfect. So come down to the second question. Can you please solve question number 1 for me? We are just doing a S type of a problem right now. Is P by Q a terminating decimal? So terminating decimal means what? 1 by 2 is terminating, which stops. So 1 by 2 is terminating, that is 0.5. But 1 by 3 is non-terminating, but is 0.3333. This is non-terminating. Which stops, which is terminating. So can you please take 2 minutes for question number 1? Someone who has done the homework may be boring for you, but please bear with me for next half an hour. Please take 2 minutes with this. Question number 1. I'll just get water and come. B. Every one of you got B. None of you have written a right answer, I think, except what the answer, Nishchit? Chirag, what's the answer?
I think it will be D. D is either, right? Either
Both.
one or two.
No, it won't be D for sure. So it says that is P by Q a terminating decimal. Chirag, what's your answer? Sorry, what's your answer? It's pretty simple question, guys. You are not supposed to have, you do not need to know any theory for this question. It says terminating and non-terminating decimal. So imagine is P by Q a terminating decimal? This is my question. Option number 1 says P is a factor of 100. Option number 2 says Q is a factor of 100. So imagine if I say you P is a factor of 100, what does this mean? P can be either 1,
1, 2, 4, 10,
2,
50,
4, 5, 10,
20,
20, 25, 50, 100. So P is a factor of 100. Simple means a number divides 100 and the remainder is 0. I don't say 3 is a factor of 100. Why? Because 3, if you divide 100 by 3, the remainder won't be 0. So it's a simple logic. When you say 2 is a factor of 10, it simple means that when you divide 10 by 2, the remainder should be 0. So it says P is a factor of 100. Now I know that P can be 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, 25, 100. And it's a S type of a question, guys. So what is my job? To create a yes and no situation. Simple logic. If you are able to create a yes and no situation, the statement will not be sufficient. So imagine for first time I've taken P is equal to 2. Now I have no idea about Q from statement number 1. All of you agreed? So imagine I take Q is equal to, let's say 2. So P by Q is what? 2 by 2, that is 1, which is terminating condition. I have a yes situation. Yes, it's a terminating decimal. But imagine I take P is equal to 2 and Q is equal to 3. So P by Q is what? 2 by 3. That is 0.666. It's a non-terminating condition. I have a no situation. So I can straight away say this is not sufficient. Any doubt? Anyone, any doubt? Tanvi, is this clear? Shaurya, is this clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Perfect. Now, second statement says that Q is a factor of 100. So can I say this is nothing but Q values can be all these things, but I don't know the value of P. So can you give me yes and no situation for this? If at all this is sufficient or not? I take P is equal to 2 and imagine I take Q is equal to 2. I can take Q and P anything now. I've taken P is equal to 2, Q is equal to 2, P by Q is 2 by 2, that is 1. It's a terminating condition. I have a yes situation. What is a non-terminating? Please understand, guys, the question simple says is P by Q terminating decimal. Question is not saying that P and Q are integers. So one who has marked answer B, it means you are by default considering that P and Q are integers. Imagine if I take P as 1 by 3 and Q as 2. What is P by Q? 1 by 6. And this is non-terminating. I have a no situation. So option number B is also not sufficient. This is also not sufficient. So one who has marked answer B, you cannot assume anything by yourself. Be 1000% sure. Nowhere in the question it is mentioned that P and Q are integers. You must be taking only integral value of P. And that's the reason you are getting answer B. But in this question, in this situation, they don't say you that P is an integer. You can take P anything. And for creating and what is my job in this type of a question? For every statement, my purpose is to create a yes and no. If I can create it, this statement is not sufficient. If I can't create it, this statement is sufficient. Simple logic. When I take P is equal to 1 by 3 and I'm 100% allowed to take P as 1 by 3 because it doesn't mention to me in the question P and Q are integers. So this is also not sufficient. Now, when you say P, when now considering option number 1 is not sufficient, I have got a yes and no situation. Option number 2 is not sufficient. I have got a yes and no situation. And only then I'm supposed to combine. Else you can't combine. So now when you say P is equal to Q is equal to 1, 2, 4, 5. Now you take any of the number. It does not matter. You will get a terminating decimal. Now because now you are restricted that you can take only these numbers of P and Q. And if you take these numbers and divide P by Q, it will come as terminating decimal. So answer to this question is C. But imagine if the question would have been if P and Q are integer. Is P by Q a terminating decimal? Then answer would have been B. B 1000% sure. If question is saying that if P and Q are integer, is P by Q a terminating decimal? Then answer would be B. Is this clear? Anybody, any doubt? Please tell me. Because these are very basic questions to understand how you approach a data sufficiency problem in inequalities. And when we start the separate individual chapter, that's a place I'll not explain you why, what is the process of solving data sufficiency. Is this very clear? So the takeaway,
Rahul,
yeah, please tell me.
one question. Sorry
Yeah.
for the, if I consider that P and Q are integers,
Yeah.
and where, you know, option B satisfies the situation, the equation. So 3 by 2 is a, let's say I've,
Terminating condition. 1.5.
okay. Got it. Yeah.
It
Sorry.
will always be terminating. So takeaway from this question is, guys, that when you divide any number by 2, or you divide any number by 5, or you divide any number by multiple of like 2 cross 5, or you divide any number by 2 to the power m, any power of a,
Got it. Yeah.
you divide any number by 5 to the power n, any power of 5, or you divide any number by 2 to the power m into 5 to the power n, be 1000% sure that in these cases only you get a terminating decimal. These are the only cases where you get a terminating decimal. Rest all the cases would be non-terminating. Now you can 100% tell me, Rahul, 9 by 3 is terminating because this is 3. But please understand, 9 is a multiple of 3. If you divide 10 by 3, it will be 100% non-terminating. You don't have to divide. So why did I say 1 by 6 as a non-terminating without even dividing it? Because I know that in 1 by 6, the denominator is 2 cross 3. So this is non-terminating condition. Moment denominator comes anything except 2 and 5, it will be a non-terminating. Until and unless numerator is a multiple of denominator. So you can 100% tell me, Rahul, 49 by 7 is terminating because 7 sevens are 49. Because 49 is a multiple of 7. But if you divide 50 by 7, it will be 1000% non-terminating. So the takeaway from this question would be, guys, any number you divide by 2 or 5 or multiple of 2 and 5, if the number is in denominator, 1000% it will yield you a terminating condition. So when I combine it, I have P is equal to Q is equal to 1, 2, 4, 5. Now these are the number which is nothing but either 2 or multiple of 2 or 5. So if you combine this and divide any of the number by any one, you will always get a terminating condition. So the answer to this question is C, what is given. And it is not given to us that P and Q are integer. Is anyone, any doubt? Please tell me.
I have a doubt.
Yeah, please
C
tell.
and 2 alone are not sufficient, but together they are, right?
Yes, and that's the reason we mark answer C. C says 1 and 2 are combined.
So even if we have it combined, that if P is a factor and Q is also a factor.
Yeah, so all P and Q can be only these numbers now, Yashu. They can be only these numbers, Yashu, right? Now you take any of these numbers and divide by the number, you will always get a terminating condition. You can check for yourself.
But again, if it's not integers, if we are again going.
No, but the point is that when you say P and Q are factor of 100, it means you are trying to say that now you are 100%, you have reserved your values. Only 2 can be, a fraction can't be a factor of 100 now, Yashu. So when I'm combining the statement, Yashu, P and Q can be only these numbers now. And these are fortunately integers.
Okay. Yeah.
Without?
No.
Okay.
Rahul, I have a quick question.
Yeah,
so I understood the concept.
Yeah.
However, as you mentioned, right, like all the factors are integers. So the point that you had mentioned, if in the question they had mentioned that P and Q are integers, then the answer would be B. That I could not understand.
No, because in case if the question they say P and Q are integers, right?
Okay.
Now you will take only any, now when you have to prove with option number 2, because option number 2, you know, Q is a factor of 100 nischits, right?
Correct.
And if Q is a factor of 100, Q can be all this number 2, 4, 5, 10, 25, 50 and all, whatsoever. And these are all the multiple of 2 or 5. So you take P any number over here, P as, and Q if you take a factor of 100, any number you take of P, don't take any fraction. Because now it is mentioned that P and Q are integer. It will be 100% yield you a terminating condition. Because any number you divide by 2 or 5, it will be a terminating condition.
Okay, so you're saying this condition that you've mentioned, that in the denominator, if it's 2 into 5 or any
2, 5, yeah, you always get
that
a
would
terminating
not
condition.
be true. That would not be true if P is not an integer.
Because imagine, that's what I'm telling you. If imagine if this is 1 by 3 and this is 2. So 1 by 3 divided by 2 will become 1 by 3 into 2. So now denominator comes as 3 over here, right?
Got it, Rahul.
Perfect.
Understood.
So this was the is type of a question, guys. Let's go with the what type of a question now. I hope is this clear in is type. So our entire purpose, whenever you look into a data sufficiency question, you have one question, two statement. Your first job is to understand it's a is type or it's a what type. If it's a is type, your entire purpose of solving that question is to create a yes and no situation. If it's a what type, your job is to get a unique numeric value, like we'll do now. So my focus would be a lot on how you approach a problem 100%, rather than you are able to solve it right or wrong, because eventually if your process is good, if your thought process is fine, eventually we'll start getting things right. It won't happen in one shot, in one moment. So in what type of a question you should get a unique numeric value as an answer? Simple logic says this. Unique numeric value as answer. So imagine if I say you, what is the value of x? Option number 1, I say you x square is equal to 36. Option number 2, I say you x is greater than 2. So when I say what is the value of x, option number 1 says what? X square is equal to 36. It means x can be plus 6 or minus 6. So what is my, and they are asking what is the value of x, and what is the concept that relates to what type of a question? That you should get unique numeric value of x. Simple logic. Now my question is, what is the value of x? Option number 1 says x square is equal to 36. Can I say x is equal to plus 6 or minus 6? Agreed?
Yes.
So there are two different values you are getting. So I can say this is not sufficient. Simple logic. Second says x is greater than 2. Can I say x can be either 3 or 4 or 5 to infinity? So again, there are multiple values of x. This is not sufficient. So option number 1 and option number 2 are not sufficient. Why? Because we could not get unique numeric value of x. We have got two values of x in statement number 1. We have got multiple values in statement number 2. Now, when we combine this, so option number 1 says x can be plus 6 or minus 6. Option number 2 says x is greater than 2. If I combine these two situations, will I get x is equal to 6? Please understand. Because now when you are combining this, it is inside this boundary. You cannot say ki Rahul, x is greater than 2. It means 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It could be anything in the world. Obviously, it could be anything when you are looking at alone. But please understand, when you combine, option number 1 says x is equal to plus 6 or minus 6. Option number 2 says x is greater than 2. Now the combination means you are under this boundary. So when I say x is equal to plus 6 or minus 6, x is greater than 2. The common value that will come out here is x is equal to 6. Minus 6 will be discarded. Why? Because it is not greater than 2. So I have combination answer, that is C. Is this understood, everyone? Anyone who has not followed it, please tell me.
Rahul, I have a question here.
Please tell me, Ritu.
I understood the concept, but I'm getting a little confused with the options. Like, what is x is the question, right?
The question is find the value of x.
Of x, and 1 and 2 are the options given to it, and these are not the statements.
These are the statements.
Okay.
That you will find the values of x with the help of these two statements.
Statements. Okay.
Can you find the value of x or not? That's the whole question they're trying to ask you. They're not trying to ask you what is the value of x. All they are trying to say, will you be able to find the value of x with statement number 1 or not? Will you be able to find the value with a statement number 2 or not? This is what they are asking you. That's it.
Okay, got it. I thought these were the options. So
these are the statements. These are statements. Whenever there is a question and two statements are given to you, Ritu, your answer should be in form of A, B, C, D, E. That's it. Yeah. So here option number A is not sufficient. Why? Because I'm getting two values of x, and my concept says what? What type of a question? Concept says that you should get a unique numeric value of x. Agreed?
Yeah.
So and that's the reason I say option number 1 is not sufficient, because there are two values, plus 6 and minus 6, and I should be getting a unique numeric value. Option number 2 says x is greater than 2. There are multiple values. So that's the reason option number B is not sufficient. Now I'm 1000% sure 1 and B are not sufficient. A and B are not sufficient, and that's the reason I go ahead and combine with. That's the reason I go ahead and combine the statements. And when I combine the statements, I get x is equal to 6. So I mark C as the answer.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Shaurya, Tanvi, understood? Ankita, is this clear?
Yeah, Rahul, understood.
Yeah,
Okay.
understood.
Rahul, I just have one question.
Yeah, please tell me.
So Rahul, you're absolutely positive that in DS questions we'll only have what type and this type. So there
That's
wouldn't
it.
be any
That's it.
other.
No other type at all. Any DS questions can be classified into these type of two questions. That's it. Any DS
Okay.
type.
Okay, Rahul. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So now imagine, I'll just tell you one thing. This is an equilateral triangle, right? All the sides are equal. This is called equilateral triangle. I'm just doing all these questions for you to make understand how should you solve a problem. We'll discuss every topic chapter wise chapter. But initially in first class, what I have taken that I have taken some mixed problem for you to solve it and understand exactly how we approach the question. So I'm not going to do the entire set of DS concepts. I'll just do 5 or 6 questions so that you understand it beautifully, and then we can go ahead and start inequality. So equilateral triangle means what? All the 3 sides are equal. This is equilateral triangle. Agreed? What is isosceles triangle? 2 sides are equal. And what is scalene triangle? All 3 sides are unequal. Very clear? So now, this is a type of a triangle. And what is perimeter of a triangle?
The
It's
sum
the
of
sum of
sides.
Sum of sides. So perimeter of any geometrical boundary is nothing but sum of all the sides. In terms of circle, the perimeter is called as a circumference. So perimeter of a triangle is sum of all the sides. This simple normal logic, and you should try and solve question number 3. Solve it very properly. Do not rush it up. Take 2 minutes aram se and try solving it. Get the right answer. That's important. Please try. Just come. What the answer? CEE. So this says that what is the perimeter of isosceles triangle ABC? Simple logic. So let's say this is a triangle ABC, but the triangle is not drawn. So it's up to you to draw in the way you wish. It's isosceles triangle given to you. So this is ABC, and ABC could be this as well. Because triangle is not given, so you need to draw in the way you wish. And if I draw ABC at this place, this is A, this is B, and this is C. It's exactly the same thing. So these are the two possibilities of triangle that could be formed. Agreed? And they're asking us what is the perimeter of this triangle. So option number 1 says AB is 9. Option number 2 says BC is 4. So when AB is 9 in this triangle, this is 9 and this is 9. In this triangle, this is 9. So can I say this is not sufficient because I don't know the other side of a triangle? Simple logic. Now I take option number 2. BC is 4. This could be 4. This could be 4 and this could be 4. But I have no idea about. From statement number 2, you have no idea about statement number 1. So please ensure do not carry forward the information from 1 to 2. Now I don't know the other side, so I can straight away say this is not sufficient. But when I combine, now this is 9, 9, 4, this is 4, 4, 9. So I have two perimeters of a triangle. This is called 9 plus 9 plus 4. That is 22. This is 4 plus 4 plus 9. That is 17. Agreed? Now tell me what's the answer to this? So a
It's
lot of
E, Rahul.
no, absolutely no.
No, this should be basically the if the base is 2, sorry, base is 4, then it can't be a right. The half of it can't be a right triangle. Basically, this can't be isosceles triangle, right?
Absolutely. So for any triangle to exist in this world, the most basic property of triangle says that sum of any two sides should be greater than third side. Sum of any two sides should be greater than third side, or difference of any two sides should be less than third side. So the most basic property of a triangle so a triangle with 4, 4, 9 will not exist in the world at all. So if you draw this 9 and if you draw this 4 here, and if you draw this 4 here, it will not meet only. So for triangle to exist in this world, sum of any two sides you check upon and should be greater than third side, or difference of any two sides should be less than third side. Any one property you think of, and that's more than sufficient. So here what I get, 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 is not greater than 9. So this triangle does not exist in math at all. This is the most basic property of a triangle, ki sum of any two sides should be greater than third side. So we have just one perimeter, that is 22, and the answer would be C to this. So be very sure, guys, in GMAT, questions will not be tough. Questions will be 100% a bit tricky for sure. But question will desperately never be made tough for sure. So the answer to this question is C. But imagine if the BC would have been 5, then answer would be E. Because now you have two valid triangles, 5 plus 5 plus 9, 9 plus 9 plus 5. If BC would be 5, then answer would be E. If BC is 4, now answer is C. And you may be 1000% confident of what you have done and still you will do wrong in GMAT. This is the beauty of this exam, that you come with the thought process out of exam that everything is super shorted, but the score is not something that you thought of. It's just because you were doing it pretty fast. So any questions in GMAT, if you are able to do it in 20 seconds or 30 seconds, your job is to stay 40 seconds more and once review it what you have done. So imagine if we try do question number 4, please try. Take 2 minutes, question number 4. What the answer? Okay, Kritika. Kritika, try again. Not that easy. E, E. No, wrong. One was got E, E, look again. D, look again. C, look again. So please understand now, guys. This is how GMAT tricks you. The question says what? Jonna bought 0.15 stamps and 0.29 stamps. Let's say Jonna bought X 0.1 number of 1 point stamp, Y number of 0.29 stamp. Simple. The question is how many 0.15 stamp did say Y? It means what is the value of X? Rajesh, is this clear? Is the what type of a question?
Yes, Rahul, yeah, got it.
Very clear. So you have to ensure that every questions you need to figure it out. It's a S type or what type, and there are just two types of a question that will be asked in data sufficient. That be very sure about. So my question here is what is the value of X? I've considered key point, let's say 0.15 stamp, X Jonna bought X number of 0.15 stamp, Jonna bought Y number of 0.29 stamp. The question is asking how many 0.15 stamp did she buy? It means what is the value of X? It means you should get a unique numeric value of X to say it is sufficient or not sufficient. Option number one says what? X is equal to Y. I don't know what is the value of X. It could be 100, 200, 300, 400, anything. I can straight away say option number one is not sufficient because it says she bought an equal number of 0.15 stamp and 0.29 stamp. It means X is equal to Y. Option number two says what? She bought worth of 4.40 number of stamps. It means 0.15X plus 0.29Y is equal to 4.40. Anyone, any doubt in option number two? Because it says she bought 4.40 worth of total stamp. So total stamp is what? 0.15 into total number of X, 0.29 into total number, that is Y, is equal to 4.40, right? Now, majority of time it happens that people come, they say this is not sufficient. People come down to this place and they straight away mark answer C, that these are the two equations. If I solve, you will get the value of X and Y for sure, 100%. So the question is simple, trying to say option number one is X is equal to Y. Option number two is 0.15X plus 0.29Y is equal to 4.40. Imagine if I give you a question where I say option number one, X is equal to Y. Option number two, I give you X plus Y is equal to 10. Now, if you combine these two statements, you will get the value of X and Y, right? 100% you will get, you will take mark answer C. So a lot of time happen, people straight away close their eyes, they see these two equations, they mark answer C. But 1000 be sure about it. If our answer is C within 20 seconds of your analysis, 100% this is a C trap problem. And you are only trapped into this because you have not followed the process, simple logic. Now, option number one says X is equal to Y. I don't know the value of X and Y. X is equal to Y can be 1, X is equal to Y is equal to can be 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's the reason I say this is not sufficient. Now, in point number two, in statement number two, when you say 0.15X plus 0.29Y is equal to 4.40, did you even try to think why is this not sufficient before combination? Tell. Did you even try to think why is this not sufficient? Because this is what type of a question, guys? A statement will be not sufficient when they have multiple values. 100%. Now here, if I remove this point, I get 100 over here. If I remove this point, I get 100 over here. If I remove this point, I get 100 over here. I can cancel this entire 100 and say it is 15x plus 29y is equal to 4.440. Sorry. Now, why did you say this statement is not sufficient? Can you please explain me this? So once, if I say you x plus y is equal to 10, imagine. If I say you x plus y is equal to 10, I ask you what is the value of x. Now you can 100% tell me this is not sufficient. Why? Because Rahul, it can be 9 plus 1, it can be 8 plus 2, it can be 7 plus 3. I get two different values and I can say statement number. This statement is not sufficient to get the value of x. Because I have multiple value. 9 plus 1 could be 10, 8 plus 2 could be 10, 7 plus 3 could be 10. But in this statement, did you even try to find out why this statement is not sufficient? Did you get two values of x and y? Tell me this first. Because when you say x plus y is equal to 10 is not sufficient, you say me, ki Rahul, it could be 9 plus 1, 8 plus 2. Did you try to find two value of x and y to say this statement is not sufficient? Now, please understand, if I put x as 10 and y as 10, if I put x as 10, 115 into 10 is what? 150. If I put y as 10, 29 into 10 is what? 290. If I add this, I get 440. I'm telling you, now what I'm going to tell you right now is no concept. It is no logic. Absolutely. It is purely an observation. So imagine 29 is what? This entire equation contains a prime number or not? Tell me this first. $29 is a prime number or not?
It is.
Yes.
So there is only one value of x and y which will satisfy this equation. But this is purely an observation. This is no concept. This is no logic. Be 1000% sure about it. This is purely an observation, because please understand, why would GMAT give you such a easy question where they say you two equations, two variable, and they say you to find the value of x? Anyone in the world will mark C answer to this. Anyone. But imagine this is an easy question, guys. And if you mistake, if you do wrong in this, GMAT penalizes you very heavily if you do easy questions wrong. So to 99% of the people will mark answer C, because they will see two values, two equations, straight away mark answer C. But you are trapped into this because you didn't even try to find out that what are the two values of x and y for which 15x plus 29y will become 440. You didn't try to find it out. You just thought the two equations, two variables, you combined it. So be 1000% sure in this type of a problem, you have to get a yes and no situations to any statement to say it is not sufficient. In what type of a problem, if you say a statement is not sufficient, you should have two values of any variable, x or y, doesn't matter. Two values of x or y or z, any variable, to say that this statement is not sufficient. But in this question, what did you do? You just saw two equations, you saw two variables, two equations, you marked answer C. But will GMAT give you such an easy question that two variables, two equations, and they'll ask you to find the value of x and y? No. So here, so what I'm telling you, if there's one prime number, why I'm telling you this? Because I have solved such type of many questions and I have analyzed it. If there's one prime number, there's only one value of x and y which will satisfy this equation. There is no other way except doing hit and trial method. So this is something which can be called shortcut and all, but this is crap. It is your own observations, it is your own generalizations which will help you to solve such type of a problem. So here there is no two values of x and y for which you will get 440. It will be only one value of x, and I'm telling you now because this is a prime number. Simple. So based on this exactly, so the answer to this question is B. Is that understood? Anyone, any doubt? Please tell me.
Rahul, I have a doubt here.
Yes, please tell me.
So here, since it's a prime number, only value of y is 10, which is
no, value of, it's not value of y is 10, Ritu. I have considered that when I took x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 10, I got 440. That's it.
Yes. So for this particular statement, apart from 10, there are
no other values which will give you 440. This is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, but in the first statement, but here x is also 10, y is also 10. In that,
here I don't know what is the value of x and y from the statement. X, it just says x is equal to y. It can take any value, Naritu. It can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 10.
Okay, but we won't get 440 for that, right?
You don't know because x is equal to y. You just know x is equal to y. So question says here, Ritu, that C bought a equal number of 0.15 stamp and equal number of and 0.29 stamp. And I've considered that x is a number of 0.15 stamp, y is a number of 0.29 stamp. So option number 1 just says me x is equal to y. I don't know how many stamps it did say buy. She could have bought 2, she could have bought 3, she could have bought 5, she could have bought 10.
Okay.
Right? The point is, in what type of a question you must have a unique numeric value on a very precise. Agreed? Now, based on exactly the same logic, can you please try solving question number 12? And these things will come with practice, guys.
So I have a doubt.
Please tell.
So if I take the C, if I choose the C option,
Yeah.
my answer is gonna be correct only. I'll get
No,
the
but the
unique
point is
number of
but the
value
point
only.
is, but the point is you are trying to invalidate the entire logic of data sufficiency, Prasanna. So what happens that if one option is if option number 1 is not sufficient, and if option number 2 is not sufficient, only then you can think of combining. Only then you should combine.
Okay.
If a question can be answered with the individual statement, you are not supposed to combine it at all.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So you are invalidating the property of data sufficiency completely.
Okay.
Is that very clear?
Okay,
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Now, based on this is question number 12. I don't think so. It should take more than a minute. Please finish it off. Question number 12. Exactly the same thing, but mark answer properly. Prasanna, no. Look. Please look. A is not the answer. Perfect, Kritika. So it says that Martha bought several pencils. If each pencil was 23 cent and 21 cent pencil, let's say there was X 23 cent pencil, that's buy, Y 21 cent pencil, that's buy. How many 23 cent pencil let's buy? What is the value of X? Agreed? Any doubt here? Option number 1 says Martha bought total of 6 pencils. It means X plus Y is equal to 6. Simple logic. So can I say percentage of 5 plus 1, 2 plus 4, 3 plus 3? This will always give you 6. So what could be the value of X? It would be 5 or 2.
Yes,
So not sufficient. Prasanjana, is this clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
Now second one comes is that the value of pencils Martha bought was 130 cent. It means what? 23X and 21Y. (23x plus 21 by 1y is equal to 130. Agreed? This is the equation that we have. And I have just told you if there's one prime number. Again, I'm telling you guys, this is no logic, this is no concept, this is purely my observation. So you have to ensure that you will do hit and trial method. And until it doesn't come as your own observations, you will not follow what I'm trying to say you. Because shortcuts can never be followed, it can never be generalized. Every person has their own shortcuts. When you go and do multiple type of such questions, you will have your own thought process to that. So it's very wrong to say that there is a shortcut which applies for everybody. No, it does not apply. This applies for me. And that's the reason time and again I'm telling it is your hit and trial method which will have your own observation. You just can't say, Rahul, you have told me a prime number, so I'll mark answer B. No, this you will not do. You will 100% take a hit and trial method for yourself, try solving multiple such type of questions. And I'll tell you how exactly to get multiple questions, same type of questions. Don't worry. I'll give you also. So I see that 23 is one prime number, so I can 100% close my eye and say this statement is sufficient. Why? Because I'll have one value of x and y for which it will give me 130. But please understand what are those values. Think about it because numbers are very small over here. So I need 23x plus 21y is equal to 130. Imagine if I take x is equal to 2. So it is what? 3 to the 6, 2 to the 4. Now I need to get 0 at my unit place. So I'll multiply y with 4. If I take y as 4, what will happen? 4 ones are 4, 4 twos are 8. If you add this is 0, this is 130. If you take x is equal to 2, y is equal to 4, you will get 130. There is no other values of x and y. And you can 100% do hit and trial method. Why? Because the numbers are not very big. Numbers are absolutely not very big. So I can say this is sufficient to answer my question. Is that very clear? Anyone, any doubt? Please tell me. Any doubt?
Can you explain the prime number thing because I didn't get it?
No, it's not about I'm trying to say it's my observations, I'm trying to say if there is one prime number, it usually means there is only one value of x and I'm just trying to say you, let's say you have two equations. I'll just explain you in detail. So let's say option number 1 says x plus y is equal to 6, right? And option number 2 says what? 23x plus 21y is equal to 440. So why I say this is not sufficient? Because this could be 5, this could be 1, this could be 4, and this could be 2, right? Agreed?
Yeah.
So why I say this is not sufficient? Because I had to find the value of x. And I've got two different values. And the question says in the what type of a question says you should get a unique numeric value. So 5 plus 1, 6, 4 plus 2, 6. Is this not sufficient? Is this agreed?
True.
Now I'm trying to say if you try and say me this statement is not sufficient, you will have to give me two values of x and y, which for which you will get 130. I'm so sorry. Right? I'm telling you if you put x is equal to 2, y is equal to 4, you will get 23 into 2, that is 46. You will get 21 into 4, that is 84. When you add this, you will have 130, right?
Yes.
Now I'm trying to say, give me to say that this statement is not sufficient. Why? You will have to give me 2 or 3 different values of x, right?
Yes.
So I'm trying to say, can you get 2 different values of x? Is there any other probability for which you will get x is equal to something, y is equal to something, and you will get 130?
Maybe.
You will have to check that now. So
Yes.
that's what you will have to check that. So all I'm trying, and you 100% will do hit and trial method for yourself. That is there any other value that exists or not? Because if it exists, then answer that we have marked B, it is wrong. The answer should be C. Because 2 equations, 2 variable, you will solve it, you will get a value of x and y. But the point I'm trying to make here is that I'm trying to say, okay, this is one prime number, right, Mahi?
Yes.
So all I'm trying to say, okay, if there is one prime number, usually there is only one value of x and y. And I'm telling you before that it's no concept, it's no logic. This is purely my observation. So what your job here is to ensure that you see here, is there any other values of x and y except 2 and 4 which satisfies this equation? It means that you should put the value of x and y and you should get 130. If it exists, then this is not something, answer cannot be B then. So all I'm asking you to do a hit and trial method for yourself, do it in your homework. Then you will have a very clear idea to it. So I'm 1000% sure there is no other value. And why I'm sure? Because I've solved a lot of such type of a question in which there is a prime number. And I see that when I have done my own hit and trial method, I saw that there is only one value of x and y. That gives me 130. Is that clear now, Mahi?
Yes. Yes.
Very clear?
Rahul, just a minute. I understood the concept very clearly.
Yeah.
But you're saying even if the prime number is with associated with variable y, still you will have only unique value for both x and y, right?
But the whole point is you don't take it as a sort of a rule and rule.
I understood
it's
that.
all about that you will have to do your own hit and trial method and look at it.
Yes,
see what
yes,
is happening. That's it.
Yeah, but
So
you're referring to prime number in the equation, right? That
100%.
was
100%.
Yeah, got it. Yeah,
I'm just referring to the equation. So this was a little bit about how we solve data sufficiency question. So is there any problem in the way, guys, you approach a DS problem and you in a is type of a problem, in a what type of a problem? Anyone, any doubt? Shaurya, Tanvi, clear? Ankita?
Yeah, clear.
Yes, Rahul.
So here what we have done is that I've taken a lot of questions, but there is no point solving all the questions because the problem questions belongs from a different chapter. So my general idea is to first 1 hour try and make you understand how we approach a data sufficiency questions. And all these questions will be covered in the respective chapter, guys. All these questions will be covered in the respective chapter that we do. So what we can go ahead and do is that now start a bit of inequalities. We have time right now. So please, I hope that you don't get tired at least till 1 o'clock. So now what we'll be doing is that we are starting a separate chapter now onwards, and a lot of inequality, lot of questions from inequality absolute value number system will be in form of a data sufficiency. And that's the reason I just tried my bit to explain you exactly how your thought process should work for data sufficiency question. Now let's come down to the inequality chapter. Let's understand this very properly. Any place you people feel that it's going too much, just tell me, because now things will change. What you have done was a very basic thing to understand what is data sufficiency, how to solve. Now things will dramatically take a change. So moment you start feeling it's getting too much, just tell me. Don't be shy at all. So let's come down to the inequality topic, guys. One of the most important topic, I would say you, extremely important with respect to GMAT. And this is one chapter which gives you a very nice thought process. Your entire thought process would change after solving. And you exactly see how logical this chapter is. So inequality means what? When I say you x is equal to 5, what is this? This is called the equation. Simple. X is equal to 5 is the equation. If I say you x greater than 5, or x greater than equal to 5, or I say you x less than 5, or I say you x less than equal to 5, this is nothing but an inequality equation. Is this very clear? Simple. X is equal to 5 is called the equation. When you say x greater than 5 or x greater than equal to 5, x less than 5, x less than equal to 5, this is called an inequality equation. Now, it's pretty simple logic. So inequality means nothing but greater than equal to sign, less than equal to sign. Any place you don't understand, please tell me. Don't ping, straight away tell. So inequality means these are the types of, these are the 4 signs which means inequality. So in inequality, guys, signs of variables are very important. What do you mean by minus x, by the way? A lot of people say x is negative, but this is crap. Minus x simple means ki minus and x are 2 independent elements. These are 2 independent elements. Be 1000% sure about it. Minus x means 2 independent elements. Now imagine if I say you in minus x, if I say you x is negative, then minus x will be a positive number. If x is negative, imagine if I take x is equal to negative 4, then minus of minus 4 is nothing but positive 4. If I take x is equal to positive number, let's say if I take x is equal to 5, then minus x becomes minus 5. But do not at all in any place, and this is the most basic thing, and lot of people make mistake. Lot of good guys make mistakes in this, I'm telling you. Minus x doesn't mean x is negative. It means minus and x are 2 independent values given to you. You aren't sure about what is the value of x. X may be positive, x may be negative. If x is positive, minus x is a negative element. If x is negative, minus x is a positive element. But all I'm trying to say you can understand that these are 2 independent elements. Do not think that minus x is x negative. No. Any place in algebra, it does not matter. Sorry.
Rahul, the reason for this is that x can be both positive and negative, right? For example,
Absolutely,
if you say is minus 6 negative, then minus 6 will be negative, right?
100%,
But minus 6 is not
100%.
negative
So
because x can be both positive or negative.
When x is a variable, any variable is given to you in the question. Let's say x, y, z. If these variables are given to you in the question, your simple job is to ensure if nothing is defined, if no extra information is given that x is positive or x is negative, your job is to 100% think that how will you be able to solve a question when x is positive and how will you be able to solve a question when x is negative. Till it is explicitly defined and there is only variable x written. Imagine it is written minus y. There is nothing defined about y. It means that y could be positive, y could be negative. And this minus and this y are 2 independent elements. Is that very clear, Nishit? Nishit?
Yes, Rahul, it is clear.
Perfect. So always remember, so if I say you minus xy, imagine, it doesn't mean that minus xy is negative. Please understand, minus is an independent element, x is an independent element, y is an independent element. I have no idea if x is positive or negative. I have no idea y is positive or negative. Given to us, if let's say minus xy, let's say if I take x as -2 and y as 4, then minus xy is a positive number because minus of -2 and 4, this is nothing but 8. So all I'm trying to say, consider these things all independent element. Do not see anywhere it is written minus z, it means z is negative. No, you have to understand that is there anything given in the question about z or not? If there is nothing given, it means g is an independent element. G could be positive, g could be negative. So I can't say minus z will be a negative number. No, it depends upon the sign of z. Just understand these are two independent elements. Be very sure about it. Okay. So guys, in inequality, signs of variables are very important. Our first job in any questions of inequality is to understand, are we very much sure about the signs of variables or not? If you are not sure, if nothing is given in the question, you will always have to take two cases, that if x is positive, solution could be this. If x is negative, solution could be this. So all I'm trying to say, in inequality, signs of variables are very important. So if I say you xy greater than 0, what do you mean by this? Understand it very well. Xy greater than 0 in terms of sign, can I say x and y are of same sign? Because take for yourself, 2 cross 2 is greater than 0, or minus 2 cross minus 2 is greater than 0. So x and y are of same sign. Simple logic. Anyone, any doubt? Perfect. So when I say you xy less than 0, what do you mean by this? Can I say x and y are of opposite sign? It means if I take x as 2, y as -2, it is less than 0. If I take x as -2, y as 3, any positive number, it will be less than 0. So can I be 1000% sure that x and y are of opposite sign? Anyone, any doubt? Please tell me. Very clear? Now I'll change a bit. Imagine if I say you, please understand this very well. This is very important equation that I'm going to write. X minus a into x minus b greater than 0. What do you mean by this? Imagine if I say you x minus 5 into x minus 10 greater than 0. What does this mean?
It can't be 10.
X can't be 10. That's okay. That's okay for sure. So can I say here, guys, x minus a into x minus b, and be very sure it should be exactly, the formatting should be same. Now a is positive, negative, I don't know. But if x minus a into x minus b greater than 0, simple means ki x can be either be less than a or x can be greater than b. I'll come down to this point, please. Just listen here. A is a smaller element, always take. And b is a bigger element. And please understand, negative and a are two different elements. These are not same. Always be 1000% sure. Minus a doesn't mean a is negative. Minus and a are two different elements. Here, negative and b are two different elements. So I have told you, if x minus a into x minus b greater than 0, it means x is either less than a or greater than b, where a is a smaller element, b is a bigger element. If I exactly put the same structure over here, what do I get? X is either less than 5 or x is greater than 10, right? It means what? Please understand, this is no formula. This is no formula. This is actually the solution of the equation. I'll come down to this point. So when I say you x square is equal to 36, you say x can be plus 6 or minus 6. What is this plus 6 or minus 6? This is nothing but solution of this particular equation. And what do you mean by solution of this equation? That when you put this back into the equation, your LHS should be equal to RHS. When you put 6 square is 36, 36 is equal to 36. When you put minus 6 square is 36, 36 is equal to 36. So all I'm trying to say, you guys, this is no formula. This is solution of the equation. What do you mean by solution of an equation? It means that Now you put any value of x less than 5 or any value of x greater than 10 in this equation, and this equation should satisfy. So let's put x less than 5 is what? Let's say 4. 4 minus 5 is what? -1. 4 minus 10 is what? -6. -1 into -6 greater than 0, right? Now x is greater than 10. It means, let's say some number, let's say 10, 20. 20 minus 5 is what? 15. 20 minus 10 is what? 10. 15 into 10 greater than 0. Is this agreed? Anyone, any doubt? So this is called solution of the equation. The point is, how will you come down to this equation? How will you come down to this solution? Then you will have to solve the equation. Now imagine, all I'm trying to say ki equation of this form can always be generalized. So please generalize it. Do not try and solve it. If you solve, we should get eventually the same thing. So let's solve it. X minus 5 into x minus 10 greater than 0. Now let's try to solve this particular equation. Let's say this is A and this is B. What do you mean by AB greater than 0? A and B are of same sign, right? Agreed? Anyone, any doubt? So I'll take two cases when A and B are positive and A and B are negative. So when A and B are positive, so imagine if x minus 5 is greater than 0, then x minus 10 should be greater than 0. Because if A is positive, B should be positive. And if x minus 5 is greater than 0, can I say x is greater than 5? If x minus 10, if x is greater than 5, then x should be greater than 10. Agreed? Now imagine, put a value over here. Now this is 5, this is 10. X is greater than 5. Agreed? Now x is greater than 10. What is the common value? X greater than 10. Anyone, any doubt here? Tell me. I have done nothing. I'm trying to solve this equation. And after solving, you will exactly get the same value. So you don't have to solve. You can always generalize it. But before that, is this understood or not? I have taken case 1 when A is positive and B is positive. Now I'm taking case 2. If A is negative, that is if x minus 5 is less than 0, then can I say x minus 10 should be less than 0? That if A is negative, B should be negative. Simple logic. So if x is less than 5, then x should be less than 10 for sure. That is, this is 5 and this is 10. X less than 5. This is the value. Now if I say x is less than 10, what is my common value? X less than 5. See, what we have got, x greater than 10 and x less than 5. I have directly written that value. Check here. What we got by solving x greater than 10 and x less than 5, I have tried to directly generalize it over here at this place. So you don't have to go ahead and solve the entire equation always. Be 1000% sure. So what we have got here, if x minus a into x minus b greater than 0, this is nothing. X is less than a or x is greater than b. This is not a formula. This is solution of the equation, and solution of the equation could be generalized. So it is for you that you go ahead and solve so much, or you simply try and generalize it. So, and it is valid for all the situations. Imagine if I tell you x minus 10 into x minus 20 greater than 0. It simple means ki x is less than 10 or x is greater than 20. And this is not formula, this is solution. If you put any value of x less than 10, this equation will satisfy. If you put any value of x greater than 20, this equation should satisfy. Simple logic. So imagine if I say you x plus 15 into x minus 20 greater than 0. So what is your job? Your job is to first convert every equation in form of x minus a into x minus b in this form. Always. So when you convert this, x plus 15 into x minus 20, what you have? You will get x minus of minus 15 into x minus 20 greater than 0. Now see x minus a is what? Minus 15. B is what? 20. So can I say x is less than minus 15 or x is greater than 20? Tell me, is this not, anyone not understood this, not followed this? Because I'm just trying to save you from solving this entire equation. Please be
Can you
very sure.
explain it again?
Yeah, which one? Which part?
The last one.
This one, my x plus 15 into x minus 20, right?
Yes. Yes.
So my see here, what we have done, x minus a into x minus b is greater than 0, right?
Yeah.
What was this, my? X is less than a or x is greater than b. Agreed?
Yes.
Any doubt?
No.
So now when x plus 15 it is, do you think it's do you think it's in form of x minus a? No.
No.
So I'll have to convert x minus a minus my a becomes what? Minus 15, right?
Yes.
So between minus 15 and 20, which is the smaller one? Minus 15, right?
Yes.
So x is less than minus 15 or x is greater than 20. Imagine I give you a question now. X plus 20 into x plus 30 greater than 0. Just tell me in 20 seconds. Don't take more time than this. Right? Always ensure convert the value in form of x minus a into x minus b. Then see which is a smaller element, which is a bigger element. A smaller x will always be less than the smaller element. X will always be the bigger than bigger element. Ankita, Kamath, is this being clear? Bhavika, things are clear now?
Yes.
Kritika?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, these are the most basic thing. If you are clear with this, I promise you any tough question, whatever, there is nothing called tough questions at all. Be one thing very sure about it in GMAT. It's a thoughtful question. But if these things are clear, any questions can be approached with a full confidence. That I promise you. Yes, please tell me what the answer. Can I straight away say x minus of minus 20 into x minus of minus 30? Now my job is to always ensure convert in form of x minus a into x minus b greater than 0. Now I've converted x minus a into x minus b. Now my job is to think which is a smaller element, minus 20 or minus 30? Minus 30, right? So a will be considered minus 30. X is less than negative 30 or x will be greater than negative 20. This is the solution of this particular equation. Now you put any value of x less than negative 30 over here, you will get greater than 0. You put any value of x greater than minus 20, you will get a 2. Is that clear? Anyone, any doubt here? Please tell me. Shaurya, Tanvi, is this clear?
Yeah,
Yes.
Rahul.
Prashanchana? Yashu, clear now? I think Chirag, it's Nishchit, clear, right?
Yes, yes, quite clear.
Yes, Rahul. This is clear.
So perfect. So always ensure that if x minus a into x minus b is greater than 0, x should be less than a or x should be greater than b. Be very sure minus and a, this is minus and a are two different elements. A is always the smaller one and b is a bigger one. But if I say you if x minus a now, check here. If I say you if x minus a into x minus b is less than 0, what do you mean by this? The simple means x lies between a and b. Now again, please understand, a is a smaller element. Exactly everything is same. It's just that it lies between a and b. And this is again a solution. This is no formula. Be 1000% sure. I've told you definition of formula and solutions. Formula means a square minus b square is equal to a plus b into a minus b. Here it is not formula. This is a solution. So if I say you x minus 5 into x minus 10 less than 0, my simple job now, it is in form of x minus a into x minus b. Minus and 5 are two different elements. Minus and a are two different elements. Minus and b are two different elements. Now I just have to choose which is the less one. 5 and 10. So x lies between a and b, a small element and bigger element. Because please understand, by default, by mistake, sometime you will write this x lies between 10 and 5. To understand ki if a value can't be greater than 10 and less than 5, this series does not exist in math. if by mistake also you write this, you should be in position to correct it, because x is a value which is greater than 10 from the first part. And the same x can be how less than 5. This is practically impossible to happen, right? Is that very clear? So x will lie between a and b, 5 and 10. 5 is a smaller element, always on the left side, right side bigger element. So imagine if I give you a simple question, x minus 5 into x plus 20 less than 0. If it is less than 0, x will lie between a and b. And your first job is to convert it into form of x minus a into x minus b. So see here, x minus 5 into x minus of minus 20 less than 0. Now between a and b, which is a smaller one, minus 20. So x lies between negative 20 and 5, not negative 5, because it is already x minus a. So minus and a are two different elements. Here it is x minus b, b is nothing but minus 20. So I'll say x lies between minus 20 and 5. And what is this? This is solution. You put any values of x here, this will satisfy. And if it is not satisfying, then what we have done is wrong. Simple logic. When I say you x minus 5 into x minus 10 less than 0, x lies between 5 and 10. This is the solution of this equation. You put any value of x in this equation, and this equation should satisfy, which lies between 5 and 10. And if it is not satisfying, then what we have done is 100% wrong. This is not the correct solution. So just do one more. Let's say x plus 20 into x plus 50 less than 0. What do you mean by this?
So minus 50 is smaller than x, which is greater than minus 20.
Absolutely. Means x will lie between minus 50 and 20, right?
Yes.
Brilliant. Good. Simple logic. Perfect, guys. Now let's come down to the next one. It says, now imagine if I say x square greater than x. Now, if this is an expression that is written to you, that is written in front of you, what is the most obvious thing that you will think of this expression? Any expressions written to you in algebra, whether it be an equality, absolute value, number system, doesn't matter. Your simple job is to think, when is this condition possible? When is the condition possible? What do you mean? What do I mean by saying when is the condition possible? It's simple. I just want to check for what value of x this expression is possible also. If I take 0, do you think 0 square is greater than 0? No. If I take x is equal to 1, do you think 1 square is greater than 1? No. Imagine if I take x is equal to 2, will I say 2 square is greater than 2? Yes. If I take x is equal to 3, will I say 3 square is greater than 3? Yes, for sure. So can I say this will always be possible for x greater than 1? This expression, I'm just trying to say you, a normal expression is written to you. Now this expression come x square greater than x. Now you should not black out at all. Any expression comes front of you, you should not black out at all. Your simple job is to understand when is the expression possible in a very simple language. And when I say you when is the expression possible, it means for what value of it this expression is possible. So when I check x is equal to 0, 0 square greater than 0, this is not possible because 0 is not greater than 0. If I take x is equal to 1, 1 square greater than 1, not possible. But I take any value of x greater than 1, this will be possible. Think about it. You take any value of x greater than 1, this is 100% possible, right? So I can one thing for sure say x square greater than x simple means x is greater than 1. But if you stop at this place, it means you are doing a disaster. Because I've told you that it is not defined to you in the question that x is positive or negative. So you have to 100% think in the negative term as well. So when I take x greater than 1, any number this equation will satisfy. But let's think about negative. If I take x is equal to negative 1, so negative 1 whole square greater than negative 1, yes, because 1 is greater than negative 1. If I take x is equal to negative 2, so negative 2 whole square greater than negative 2, yes, because 4 is greater than negative 2. So if you take any negative value, this expression will hold. You take any negative value, this expression will hold. It simple means, guys, if x square is greater than x, the question is simple, trying to say you can consider any number of x greater than 1, or you can consider any number of x that is negative. This is what the meaning of this x square greater than x expression is. That x can be positive, x can be positive greater than 1, and x can be negative. You take any negative value of x, x square is greater than x. Simple logic. So this statement x square greater than x simple means that x, they are trying to, they will never say you in question ki x is greater than 1. They will give you such expressions. And you have to think for yourself if this expression is, do not blank out at all. Your simple job is to think when is the condition possible for what value of x this is possible. This is 100% possible for x greater than 1 or x less than 0. So this is a thought process that you should have. When is the condition possible? Now imagine if this is something that you are not able to think, then what exactly will you do? You will simply try and solve this two equation. Let's solve this equation. And how do you solve it? So imagine x square greater than x. Can I solve this by cutting this variable and say x is greater than 1? This should never ever happen until it is explicitly written to you in the question. If x is positive, solve x square greater than x. Then you can cut this and say x greater than 1. But if it is not mentioned to, and this is a thumb rule, please ensure. If it is not given explicitly to you in the question that x is positive, you will never cross multiply and never cut the variable. So imagine if it is given x greater than 1 by x. You cannot say x square greater than 1. This is wrong. Because for this operation to happen, it should be mentioned in the question that x is positive. If it is not mentioned, these operations cannot be done. But you can always transpose the variable from one side to other side. So if I have to solve this, how do I solve this? Now I know I can't cut it, that situation is gone. But I can also always transpose the variable from one side to other side. Can I do x square minus x greater than 0? Now can I take x common and say x minus 1 greater than 0? Now this x is what? This x is nothing but x minus 0, because anything minus 0 is anything, like 5 minus 0, 5, 10 minus 0, 10. 25 minus 0, 25. So x minus 0 is x, and this is x minus 1 greater than 0. It means what? Can I say x minus a into x minus b greater than 0? X is less than 0 or x is greater than 1. See, what after solving you have got this statement. And our thought process, when we thought that when is this condition possible, we have got exactly the same thing. Check for yourself. So either you try and solve the equations or think when is the condition possible. So to think that to come to this place, when is the condition possible, you will take some time for sure. You will not come directly, but guys, one thing very sure, simply don't keep looking to the explanation and start thinking this I've understood. You have to do maths by yourself. Ensure that you will not look into the explanation until 1000% it is attempted by you. And there is nothing in math. It's all about your thought process. It says X, Y, Z. There are variables. If a variable is given to you in the question, please understand if there is nothing defined, it means that you have to consider if that variable is positive, what could happen? If that variable is negative, what could happen? You just simply can't go ahead with the question thinking that variable is positive. If it is not mentioned, you will have to think they are positive, they are negative. And that's what I did in both the way. I just taught you first that when is the condition possible. And when is the condition possible? Simple, I'll put the value of x and see which values are satisfying this. So I got x greater than 1 or x less than 0. And even if you solve the equation, you should get exactly the same thing. It means x square greater than x. They are trying to say you x can be negative and x can be greater than 1. I hope this is clear. Anyone didn't understand, please tell me. Yasho, Tanvi, Shaurya, Sanchi, clear? Sakshi. Rajesh, Ritu. Perfect.
Understood.
So now if I come to x square less than x, what does this mean? How simple. When is the condition possible? You can think in that term also, but let's solve it. Whatever we solve or we think when is the condition possible, it should be eventually the same thing. If I solve x square less than x, it means x square minus x is less than 0. That is nothing but x into x minus 1 is less than 0. That is nothing but x minus 0 into x minus 1 is less than 0. It means x lies between 0 and 1. The simple means, guys, that x square less than x, if it is written somewhere in the option, it means you are only supposed to take value of x that lies between 0 and 1. Nothing else at all. Be very sure about it. Is that clear? Anyone, any doubt? I've done nothing. I've just solved. So when you take, let's say x lies between 0 and 1, let's take x is equal to half. If I put half over here, what I get? Half square is less than half. Yes, because half square becomes 1 by 4. That is less than half. If I put 1 by 3, so 1 by 3 square is technically less than 1 by 3. That is 1 by 9 is less than 1 by 3. I hope it's very clear. So x lies between 0 and 1. Now, I should not be doing it now. I think it's very heavy for you all, but let's do one tough one. It's not tough concept. I'm writing it xq less than greater than x. Now, I want you to solve this. Take your own time. You can take 3-4 minutes, doesn't matter at all. Absolutely don't worry. Just take this time. After this, we'll have one more concept and then I'll close it. Don't worry at all. xq greater than x, please tell me. Now, you can 100% think on this for sure. Rahul, if x is greater than 1, this equation will satisfy. Because if I take 2q greater than 2, 3q greater than 3, 4q greater than 4q, if I take 0, 0q greater than 0, no. If I take 1, 1q greater than 1, no. So you can 100% tell me Rahul, x is greater than 1 for sure. But I'm trying to say it is greater than 1, I agree. But I want you to solve this equation. Let me see how you can solve it. You can't solve by cutting this and saying x square is greater than 1. That's wrong. So you'll have to transpose the variable because nothing is given to you. So can you please solve this? Take 2 to 3 minutes. Take 3 minutes, no issues at all. Please, and it's tough one. So no force at all. Take your time. But try doing it. I'll just get water and come. Perfect, Chirag. Good, Chirag. So, what exactly, how do you solve it? So can I say xq minus x greater than 0? Perfect, Yashu. Xq minus x greater than 0, right? Now, can I take x common here and say x square minus 1 greater than 0? Is that very clear? Now it's simple. This is a and this is b. AB is greater than, because this is what we have read right now. So do not again go and do x minus 1 into x plus 1. It will complicate you. So we have just read AB greater than 0. AB greater than 0 means we can form two cases now. Case 1, if A is greater than 0, that is if x is greater than 0, then x square minus 1 is greater than 0. And if x square minus 1 is greater than 0 means what? X minus 1 into x plus 1 is greater than 0. Now it is x minus a into x minus b greater than 0. If you actually solve this, you will get x is less than -1 or x is greater than 1. Anyone, any doubt? Here, x minus a into x minus b greater than 0. Minus of -1 to -1 is a smaller number. So x is less than -1 or x is greater than 1. You have x greater than 0. So draw a number line. So this is 0. This is -1. This is 1. So x greater than 0. Can I say? I first plotted this x greater than 0. Now I'm plotting this. X is less than -1 and x is greater than 1. X is less than -1, x is greater than 1. What is the common value? X greater than 1. And this is what we have got initially, that if you put any value of x greater than 1, this equation will satisfy. This is what I've got in case 1. Now what is my case 2? That if x is less than 0, if a is less than 0, then b should be also less than 0. Then x square minus 1 should be less than 0. That is what? X minus 1 into x plus 1 should be less than 0. Now this is in form of x minus a into x minus b. It means x lies between -1 and 1. The minus of minus a, minus of minus 1 to -1 is smaller element. So x lies between -1 and 1. Now plot this into graph. Let's say this is 0, this is -1, this is 1. X is less than 0. First equation is x is less than 0. Second says x lies between -1 and 1. So what is the common value? X lies between -1 and 0. These are the two values. That's it. So if all I'm trying to say you, if xq is greater than x, if xq is greater than x, all I'm trying to say you, x can either be greater than 1 or x lies between -1 and 0. It means that if x is greater than 1, you put any value over here, this equation will satisfy. If you put any value of x that lies between -1 and 0, this equation will satisfy. Is this very clear? Anyone not followed? Please tell me.
Can you explain it again? I'm losing it. I'm losing everything.
Where is my
explain.
Please tell me. So imagine I'm trying to solve it. So this is very clear. Xq minus x greater than 0. Is this clear, mine?
Yes.
I've transposed the variable that is allowed. I can't cut and cross multiply. So now I've taken x common x into x square minus 1 greater than 0. Agreed?
Yes.
Now a and b greater than 0, it means what, mine? Both are same sign. A and b are of same sign, right?
Yes.
So I've taken first when a is positive, that is when x is greater than 0, x square minus 1 is greater than 0. Agreed?
Yes.
X square minus 1 means what? X minus 1 into x plus 1. That's formula. A square minus b square.
Yes.
So here I have done nothing. X minus a into x minus b. Can I say x is less than -1 and x is greater than 1? Is that clear? Please check this step. Simple. You just take any x minus 1 into x plus 1 here. X minus 1 into x plus 1 greater than 0. So it is nothing but x minus a into x minus b, x minus 1 into x minus of minus 1 greater than 0. It means what? X is less than a and b. X lies outside of a and b. Sorry.
Yes.
So a is -1. So x is less than -1. This is a smaller element. The bigger element is 1 or x greater than 1. Is that agreed?
Yes.
Now Mahi, see here. I have got now 3 values. One is x is greater than 0. So I have plotted in the graph. I have drawn a graph where I put 0, 1, -1. X and greater than 0, I have plotted a graph, right?
Yes.
X less than -1, I have plotted this graph, right?
Yes.
And x greater than 1, I have plotted this graph. So my common graph is what? X greater than 1?
Yes.
So this is one solution. It means, Mahi, that in xq is greater than x, you put any value of x greater than 1, xq will be always be greater than x. Agreed?
Okay.
Now, in the same way, I've done the second one, Mahi. Now I've taken case 2, where a can be, I have done first case, a can be positive, b can be positive. Now I'm doing the second case as if a is negative, b is negative. So if x is less than 0, x square minus 1 is less than 0. Agreed?
Yes.
And x minus 1 into x plus 1 less than 0, that is nothing but x lies between -1 and 1. Because x minus a into x minus a. And that I've plotted a graph over here, my x less than 0 is this graph. X lies between -1 and 1 is this graph. So my common graph is X lies between 0 and 1.
Yes.
So all I'm trying to say you, Mahi, that if XQ is greater than X, it means that X can be either greater than 1 or X can lie between -1 and 0. Is this very clear now?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So now the next concept is, guys, this is the last concept and then we'll stop. Don't worry at all. Just hold on for 10 minutes. It's important now or else you will miss in the next class. So the last concept, it says that even powers can never be predicted. So the concept, it says even powers cannot be predicted. What does this mean? Imagine if I say you, if X is greater than Y, can you 100% say me X square will be greater than Y square? No, because imagine if I take X is equal to 10, Y is equal to 5. Now you know that 10 is greater than 5. You also know that 10 square is greater than 5 square. Absolutely fine. But imagine if I take X is equal to 10 and Y is equal to -20. What I say? 10 is greater than -20, right? But can I say 10 square will be greater than -20 square? This is a yes situation. This is a no situation because 10 square is 100, -20 square is 400. So 10 square is not greater than -20 square, right? So all I'm trying to say you that if X is greater than Y, we cannot predict that. We cannot predict that X square will be greater than Y square until we are sure about the value of X and Y. Is this very clear, guys? Until we are sure about the values of X and Y. So if it is given to you in the question, if X is greater than Y, you are in no position to predict that X square will be greater than Y square. Absolutely no. Until you are sure about the values of X and Y. Because imagine if X is 10, Y is 5, I can say 10 square is greater than 5 square. But if X is 10 and Y is -20, you can't say 10 square is greater than -20 square. And that's the reason it is said that even powers are not predicted. So if it is written in the question that X is greater than Y, you cannot confirm to it that X square will be greater than Y square, Rahul. To confirm to this statement, you will have to know the values of X and Y. So these are just a theory what we are doing. When we use this in a question, things will be super clear, that I promise you. Now imagine I come down to a different situation. If I say you if X is greater than Y square, can I still say X would be greater than Y or X would be less than Y? Because we have made a very harsh statement right now that even powers cannot be predicted. And if you make such a statement, then this statement should be generalized for all the even powers. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say you if X is greater than Y square, can you 100% say X is greater than Y or X could be less? X could be greater than Y, X could be less than Y. I don't know. If X is greater than Y square, it does not mean that X will always be greater than Y. This is nowhere written. So see here, imagine if I take X is equal to 10 and Y is equal to 2. Can I say, guys, 10 is greater than 2 square and 10 is greater than 2? That is, X is greater than Y. If I say you X is equal to, let's say, 1/3 and Y is equal to, let's say, half. Can I say 1/3? X is greater than Y square. 1/3 is greater than half square. Absolutely fine. But technically 1/3 is less than half. That is X is less than Y. So see here, what I'm trying to say you, that if X is greater than Y square, X could be greater than Y, X could be less than Y. See here, X is greater than Y square, X is greater than Y. Check here, X is greater than Y square, X is less than Y. So all we mean is that if X is greater than Y square, we cannot predict the value of, X and Y until we are sure about the value of X and Y. Is this very clear? Anyone, any doubt? Please tell me. I'm doing nothing over here. I'm just trying to give you that even powers are not predicted. Now these are the statement which helps to, which will, when until we do the questions, we will not understand the applications of it. But you should know this before we do the question. All I'm trying to say, if X is greater than Y, X square will be greater than Y square. We don't know. if x is greater than y square, in the second part, if x is greater than y square, I don't know, x can be greater than y, x can be less than y. It depends on the values of x and y. So if it is just written to you that x is greater than y square, I can 100% be 1000% sure that I have no idea about the relations between x and y until I don't know, until I have the values of x and y. X can be greater than y square, x could be greater than y. X can be greater than y square, x can be less than y. So this is what I'm simply trying to say you, nothing else at all. I hope it's clear. Now the third says that, because if I say you if x square is greater than y, this again means that x could be greater than y or x could be less than y. We aren't sure about the values of x and y. So x could is because we have made a very harsh statement that even powers cannot be predicted. So if I say even powers cannot be predicted, I should demonstrate all the form of a even power front of you, right? So imagine if I say x square is greater than y, what does this mean? So let's say x can be 5, y is equal to 4. 5 square is greater than 4, obviously, and 5 is actually greater than 4. That is x is greater than y. Now imagine if I take x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 4. Can I say 3 square is greater than 4? Yeah, 9 is greater than 4. But technically 3 is less than 4. That is x is less than y. So what I get here, guys, see here. X square is greater than y. This is what? If x square is greater than y. X square greater than y over here. X is greater than y. X square is greater than y over here. X is less than y. So again, we can go ahead and make a statement that we cannot predict the relation between x and y. If x square is greater than y, we cannot predict the relation between x and y until we know the value of x and y. Simple logic. Is it very clear? So we are almost done with the entire theory, but the theory makes no sense until we do the questions. But I'll just leave it. I think it's getting too much for you all. But let's just discuss the key concepts. So based on the same logic that we have done, if I say you guys, if A is greater than B, imagine. Can you actually say AM will be greater than BM? Can you say this statement or not? You have no idea about the sign of M. How will you say that? Imagine 10 is greater than 5. I can say 10 cross 2 is greater than 5 cross 2. I can say 10 cross negative 2 is not greater than 5 cross negative 2. So if A is greater than B, AM is greater than BM, it solely depends on the value of M. We cannot say this. We cannot say AM is greater than BM until we are sure about the value of M. Agreed? So if A is greater than B, AM is greater than BM, we cannot say this until we are sure about the value of M, because 10 is greater than 5. Imagine 10 cross 2 is greater than 5 cross 2, but 10 cross negative 2 is not greater than 5 cross negative 2. Simple logic. So come down to the concept number 1. So 1 says that if A is greater than B, AM is greater than BM, we are not sure about this. This is what they are trying to say you, what I've taught you right now. If A is greater than B, AM is greater than BM, we cannot predict this until we are sure about the value of M. Point number 2 is, guys, you take the values of, like, we'll do this when we do the question, because point number 2 will not be understood until we do the question. So it says, I'll try my best to solve all the questions algebraically. I'll try my best, but there are some questions where we can't do anything except we take a numbers. And when you think of a number, it helps you a lot in improving your mathematics skill, that I promise you for sure. So let's come down to this point when we do the questions. Don't worry at all. They are simply trying to say that whenever you're trying to solve a question, and if at all that is a question where you're trying to take some values, these are the normal values that you should be taken. But please understand, there is no generalized method of you taking a value. So we'll learn how to take values with respect to questions when we solve the questions. Point number 3, I hope is clear to all of you. See, if x minus a into x minus b is less than 0, it means x lies between a and b. If x minus a into x minus b is greater than 0, it means x lies outside of a and b. Simple logic. I think we have done it properly. If x square is greater than x, it means what? X can either be greater than 1 or x can be less than 0. If x square is less than x, it means what? X will lie between 0 and 1. And if x square is equal to x, so imagine if x square is equal to x, what is the value of x? Do you actually feel that you will have to solve this equation? No, it's a very one. It is only possible when x can be equal to 0. 0 square is equal to 0. Or x can be equal to 1. 1 square is equal to 1. That's it. So the value of x can be either 0 and 1 because these are the only two values which can satisfy this particular equation. And if at all you have a bit of problem, just go ahead and solve it. X square minus x is equal to 0. X into x minus 1 is equal to 0. So AB is equal to 0. AB is equal to 0 means what? Either A is 0, that is either x is 0, or x minus 1 is equal to 0. So either x is 0 or x is equal to 1. These are the two values. But you don't have to solve this small equation. You just have to think for what value of x LHS will be equal to RHS. That is only 0 and 1. So point number 6, understood? Anyone, any problem? No, right? Point number 7, we did x cube greater than x means what? Either x can be greater than 1, x can lie between 0 and 1. Point number 8 says x cube less than x. Please ensure that you do it as a homework for yourself. Solve this, and what the value that you should get should always be this. Either x is less than -1 or x lies between 0 and 1. Point number 9 says what? X cube is equal to x. Now imagine if x cube is equal to x means what? If I take x is equal to 0, LHS is equal to RHS. If I take x is equal to 1, LHS is equal to RHS. If I take x is equal to -1, LHS is equal to RHS. So these are the values. If x cube is equal to x, x can either be 0 or 1 or -1. And 11 number says if x is greater than y, it is not necessary that x square greater than y square. So even powers can't be predicted. I have done in detail with you. Point number 12, if x is greater than y, it is necessarily true that x cube will be greater than y cube because in cubic power, the variable does not change, the sign does not change. If I say you 5 is greater than 2, 5 cube will be greater than 2 cube. If I say -1 is greater than, or let's say if I say -5 is greater than -10, -5 cube will be greater than -10 cube. Simple. So in cubic equation, power doesn't change. So the power is odd powers and roots does not change the sign. So signs are very much predictable. If A is greater than B, A cube will be greater than B cube. Simple logic. And A and B could be negative, positive, doesn't matter at all. So they're just trying to say you if A is greater than B, A cube will surely be greater than B cube. Simple logic. Point number 13 is nothing. AB greater than 0 means A and B are of same sign. A by B greater than 0 means A and B are of same sign. Always think in terms of sign. This is extremely important. AB less than 0 means A and B are of opposite sign. A by B less than 0 means A and B are of opposite sign. Only then it can be less than 0. If both will be same sign, if it is positive, it will be greater than 0. If it is negative, it will be greater than 0. So A by B less than 0 means A and B should be of opposite sign. And point number 15 is nothing but this will do with the question. Question number 10 is exactly the same as point number 15. I'll explain to you in terms with questions. So guys, I think it's too much for you all. What we can do in the next class is that your job, your homework would be for the next class is to go and do everything. I'll send you the video by today night, the entire class video. Do everything that we have done in the class. It does not matter how weak are you in quant and how weak you were in the quant. If you understand the stuff, it will be 1000% fine, because this is not a place where you're going into trigonometry, calculus, and you make up a sort of your head that it doesn't work for me, I don't like it. It is normal thought process. And these are the thought process that is actually important in your life also, to be very frank, I'll tell you. This is very much important irrespective of the job you are doing. It doesn't matter at all. This always enhances your skill. In no way GMAT math is going to be a burden on you. Considering follow the right process. It's a different thing. What score we get, that's the latter part of our job. But we should 100% try and understand how we approach a problem. So in next class onwards, like what we have discussed today, there are two types of a data sufficiency question, S type, what type. In next class, I'll also tell you what are the structures of a question that could come in the GMAT. I promise you, there'll be nothing else which will be left upon. There will not be one single question that will feel, Rahul, this is something that we have not done in the class. The day we finish inequalities, we should be able to, next week, what we can do is that we can finish at least 70% of these entire questions. So next week is a discussion of the questions of inequality. So there are total 35 questions. Even if we discuss 20 to 25 questions, it will be a brilliant one. And I have sent everyone of you have the videos of the questions. Your job is to go, now that we have done inequalities, your job is to apply the entire logic, because you will not understand the theory till you see you solve the questions. And if I solve the questions now, you will go mad for sure, because I can see it's very, very heavy. It gets heavy, no doubt at all. So we'll do questions in the next class. We'll try to finish at least 70% of the questions in the next class. But the homework is, guys, you have the handout right in the first email. I'll send you the handout today as well. I'll write a proper email as to what needs to be done. But your job is that there are 35 questions. Now you have done the entire theory and nothing else except the theories will be used while solving the questions. I wanted to solve question number 1 for you, but this is a very tough question. And I put here for some reason. It's not that I don't want you to solve or I want to discourage you, nothing. I 100% know this solving these questions can screw up your happiness. But this is question number 1 is one of the most beautiful questions to understand how to approach a data sufficiency problem. What you have understood till now is all okay, but you need this understanding as well. So let's do it in the next class for sure. You have all the handouts with you. You have all the videos with you. I think all the videos are activated. Please ensure that you WhatsApp me if some of the videos are not working. So your job is to go ahead, do question number 1, try your best to do, and give time to it. Do not think of 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes right now. Absolutely don't think of timing at all right now. Okay, Rahul, how will I be able to do it in 2 minutes? You are not supposed to do it in 2 minutes. You take 30 minutes for this, I'm fine with it. But ensure that try 100% by yourself. If you can solve it, if you can't solve it, that's a different thing. Comes down to some conclusive answer. Let it be wrong answer, doesn't matter at all. Then go and watch the video as well. And you will still have a lots of doubt because these are not your videos. These are someone else's videos. But I promise in the next class, when you come, things will be super clear. But guys, it's a humble request. Please, please, please ensure that do the work, do the homework. That's really important. I can tell you, if you do the homework and come to the class, it will be one of the most interesting things that will happen to you. Whether it be a verbal or it be a quant, it does not matter at all. You will do really, really good. You will understand things. I have this confidence in me. I can ensure that I can 100% ensure that you will understand this stuff. How much ever tough we're discussing, that doesn't matter at all. And tomorrow class would be a very interesting class. But please ensure that do not study anything in the morning. Your job right now is that we'll be discussing essay rules tomorrow. From question number 1 to question number 15, that was the max I think we will be able to discuss. So in SC, so please ensure watch the first video till question number 14 or 15. I think all of you have the videos and all. Please ensure if the video number 1 is not activated, WhatsApp me. I'll ensure that I'll give you the access. You just watch this. I don't know how much you must have studied or not. SC rules is a book that needs to be studied by you, 100%. But if you have not studied right now, don't study, just watch the video. But do watch the video. It will be a very interesting class. It will be a huge discussion class also, because in sentence correction, all of you will have a very different perspective. And to generalize that, it takes a lot of time. And if you don't watch, then again, you will just keep listening to me. That's it. And I don't want that to happen. I 100% want you to fight with me in sentence correction for sure. You may have some thought process. I may have some thought process. But until you do not read and come, it will be gone case. So just watch the video till question number 15 you watch. Even if you watch till question number 13, I'm happy. But please ensure that watch the video. Do not study anything tomorrow in the morning hours. Please don't study anything in the morning hours, or else a class will be full of confusion, I'm telling you. So whatever you have to do for sentence correction, you can do it today. I'll send you the mail by tonight after my night class, 8 o'clock, for the next week of maths. And tomorrow, let's start verbal. First class of verbal, we'll start with this. Is that very clear? Anyone, any doubt, please tell.
Rahul, the homework for quant for next week class is to attempt your
all the 35 questions. We have not still done any questions of inequality. And attempt with a proper logic. In the sense, do not simply look into the video or do not simply look into the explanation. Ensure that you should do it by yourself. You do wrong or right, that doesn't matter. But after you have attempted, only then go ahead and watch the video. I think every one of you have the videos activated. If anyone you don't have, please let me know. I'll activate it. Any other questions? We'll close the session for today.
Rahul, for verbal, you'll be sending today, right?
I have already sent it to you. I have already sent it to you, Rajesh.
Verbal also. Okay.
Yeah, verbal also is sent to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any questions? Yasho, Tanvi, Shaurya, Sanchi, Sakshi, Ritu, Rajesh, Nischit, Chirag, Kritika, Mahi. Any questions? Please tell me.
Just one question, Rahul. So,
Yeah.
if we could create a WhatsApp group to discuss questions, I think that
100%. That's what I'm telling you. That will be the best thing that will happen with you, and we'll do it next week, Nishit, of course.
okay, sure.
Next Saturday, Sunday, I'll give you the access, all of you who wants to go ahead with the group, because the point is that this will be a group which will be very limited to you. You will be less, few number of people you will be there, and you will be discussing exactly the same thing. So it can be extremely productive if you use it properly. That I promise you. But do not use for any stupid reason. Don't do any stupidity in the group. Just ensure that discuss your problem, your GMAT, and some of you may be weak, some of you may be good. So be very open to us. Do not worry that I'm weak, I'm this, what people will think. Let people think whatever they want. You ensure that your concepts get cleared. That's it. That is the only purpose. Do not have any sorts of ego at all. Not needed at all. Just ensure that use the group very productively. If you do not use it productively, it will be just simply laying down. Anyone, any doubt? Next week I'll give the access here itself to all of you, the numbers. Anyone, any doubt, please? Anuja, Ankita, Kamath, Ankita, Yashu, Kritika.
Will you be sending today's video right away or after some time?
No, I'll send it to you at night, Vavika. I have a class 2 to 5 and 5 to 8. So I'll
All
send you the
right.
entire homework every night. Every Saturday night, Sunday night, you'll get the homeworks and all the videos of what we have done in today's class.
Okay.
Okay, chalo fir. I think it's clear now. Let's meet tomorrow. Same time, 10:30. Please join 5 minutes before the class. It will be good for both of us. We can start class at 10:30 sharp. Chalo guys, bye. Take care.
Thanks, Rahul.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, Rahul, thanks.
Thank you, Rahul. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Rahul.